killed the commander of Hamas's military wing. Israel says Mohammed Deif initiated, planned, and executed the October 7th terror attack that triggered the war in Gaza. This after the strike this week in Iran, taking out Hamas's political leader. Hours after Israel killed the top Hezbollah commander in Lebanon. Secretary of State Antony Blinken monitoring in Mongolia.
As Iran decides how to respond to the killing of Hamas's leader on its soil, Secretary Blinken is urging all sides to make the right choices.
Those choices are the difference between staying on this path of violence, of insecurity, of suffering, or moving to something very different.
He's on a tour of Asia and insists a ceasefire in Gaza is in everyone's interests.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Some 9/11 victims' families are upset over plea deals at Guantanamo for 3 of the 5 terror attack suspects.
In a letter to the victims' families obtained by the New York Post, prosecutors explain in exchange for the removal of the death penalty as a possible punishment, these 3 accused have agreed to plead guilty to all the charged offenses, including the murder of the 2,976 people listed in the charge sheet. This includes the architect of the attacks, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who proposed the idea of hijacking airplanes to Osama bin Laden.
Fox's Chanley Painter. Democrats start a virtual roll call vote today to nominate Vice President Harris. Former President Trump calls her
a puppet candidate to fight only for themselves. Kamala Harris got 0 votes.
That was at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania hours after the former president's testy interview at a black journalist convention, causing controversy, claiming Harris used to identify as Indian American, not black. The vice president reacted in Houston.
It was the same old show. The divisiveness and the disrespect.
America's listening to Fox News.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm going to let you in on a wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile want you to believe you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges you for data you need. For just $25 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data, plus mobile hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk to switch easily. And save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
The Morning Xtra, only on Xtra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tuck, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Xtra until 10, and you just creep right over the horizon, and you can see Friday in the weekend. It is Thursday, the new Friday, and I'm delighted by that. I do need a 0FG. I'll have to get one of those shortly. Rhino's got his racetrack coffee. Los, you got any snacks? You got anything?
I haven't done caffeine yet.
Okay, well, we got to get that started.
I know. Got to get that rolling. Normally, that's, okay, a lot of mornings, that's how it starts.
Yes.
This might be one of those 2 0FG kind of days.
Ooh, wow.
Kind of feeling a little bit of like, so by the time we hit the 9 o'clock hour, long teas, things are going to get a little crazy.
Off the rails on the crazy train, just like Ozzy Osbourne used to think about it.
So Can Thursday just identify as Friday?
It does, I think. I think
so we don't have to come in tomorrow?
Shouldn't it? By the time we hit college, wasn't really that's what it was? I mean, everybody went out on Thursday. I always found that so curious that everybody made it a point to be out at a bar by 10 o'clock on Thursday. And you had class the next day, but for some reason it was no big deal.
Yeah, but don't most kids schedule like very few classes on Friday? That's the thing. I know
that's what I did.
Son, yeah, for Board Up Joey and my son is doing that now. Like I don't think he has it. He may have one class on Friday. I think. I'm not even positive of it. But Joey, what'd you do?
But now, well, I tried as little on Friday, or I'd push it as late as possible. But now it's a habit because everybody did that. So I'm still going out on Thursday nights.
Oh, so you're still in the habit of that?
I'm telling you, you start that habit.
No, I'm with that. I got no problem.
It didn't go away.
It sucks.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
It doesn't sound like it sucks.
Good.
It sounds
not when you wake up at 4.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's that portion of it.
Yeah, there is. But I mean, like that's never changing, right? I mean, or not for a long time. Maybe one day you'd like for it to change, but I don't think that is going to change for a while, right? You're going to be around a while, and it's not changing for us for a while.
We would play a regular poker game on Thursday nights, and that was always kind of the start of the weekend. Now, Friday was awful. Like, I remember multiple times going to work on a Friday and being like, I completely hate life.
I love it.
Take a bad beat.
I hate life.
Had to do that, you know.
Rhino, have you ever been to that point where you're like, I hate life?
There are some days.
Yeah, maybe once in a while.
Yeah. It's more about I hate such a strong word. I don't like most people most days. There are days that I'm like, I'm just done with people.
Yeah.
They are just, out of their minds crazy.
Yes.
There's, two of you that I never get tired of. Joe, sorry, I get tired of you sometimes. I'm just kidding, Joe. I never get tired of you. I love you, Joe. You're just easy to pick on because you're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you guys I would never get sick of or hate life at that moment. But there's some people I'm around that I'm like, I just hate that, life has brought these kind of people here.
It's to my doorstep.
Yeah.
I love it. Today is National Girlfriend Day.
Oh.
Yeah, and
wait. So on Chili Day, I get to get chili.
Yep.
So today, I get to get another girlfriend?
I think you celebrate the one you have.
Well, what if you don't have one?
Well, I don't know.
You don't have one, so do you get a free girlfriend?
No.
Lowe's get a free
You get to add one in?
No, I just think you don't celebrate the particular date.
Well, then it's not a good national day because nationally, not everybody can celebrate.
Well, no, yeah, but I mean...
I say you take part.
What is the... there's probably some sort of holiday that
Gotta get myself a girlfriend.
Yeah, like National Wife Day?
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, I'm sure there's already that. But I was just thinking for you and girlfriend Erin, man, you need to take her out to a nice dinner or do something really nice for her.
That's
today on National
idea.
Girlfriend Day. Because Joey, you don't have a steady, do you?
No.
Wow.
I don't.
No, but I knew he was
straight 1950s.
No, I date around.
Yeah, no,
but
you
going steady.
You have a steady. You're holding hands now.
Have y'all kissed before?
Here's your promise ring, girl.
That's right.
Would you like to wear my Letterman's jacket?
Yes, absolutely, dude. And wear my ring around your neck.
Go down to the pier.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe the drive-in.
You can't ever tell.
Oh, the drive-in.
Dude, over in Blue Ridge, I got one. But I knew you've been out on a date with the same girl for a few times, right? But she's not.
Yeah.
She's not official.
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what that situation is.
Oh, well, see, I didn't mean to open it.
You've opened a can of worms.
Dude, and it's clear that it is painful.
Did you leave her alone or she leave you alone?
It's more confusing. Well, she had like some family stuff happen that was super serious. And so that kind of happened. And then we started doing it again and she kind of left me alone. But then she'll hit me up out of nowhere. And it's a whole thing. It's not fun.
Oh, well, I hate that. Well, so don't celebrate National Girlfriend Day. You can be with Lois and I and not celebrate today. And Rhino gets to take this day with pretty girlfriend Erin. I think that's the way to go.
I think so.
It makes the most sense.
We're going to Waffle House,
That's
girl.
right. Absolutely. About to show you a
It's
real good
celebration.
time. That's right, it is. Anytime you get to Waffle House.
I'm going to ask them if they got any of those little white tablecloths left over from Valentine's
Day. And you can go by, swing by like Publix or Kroger or something like that and get you one long stem rose to put in there.
Bring my radio transmitter.
Yeah, that's right. Well, no, they got
with my steady.
they got a jukebox in there. And
even better.
Yes,
the Waffle House jukebox.
Matter of fact, they have more jukeboxes than any other. I mean, that's the company that has more jukeboxes than any other company on planet Earth. And they even, do y'all know they do music awards? Did y'all know that the Waffle House does a music awards?
Do they really? No.
Yeah, they do the Toonie Awards at the end of the year.
Okay.
And they give awards to the people who are most played on the jukeboxes. That's what they do. That's because so many people play jukeboxes still at Waffle House.
Didn't one of the Jonas Brothers write a Waffle House song?
Joe saying yes. I knew there was the Waffle House doo-wop from way back when.
Right.
But I didn't know about the...
I wonder, those probably have an inside track on being played the most at Waffle House,
but
right?
no, it's always Chris Stapleton.
Wow,
Tennessee Whiskey for the last 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense, too.
Yeah,
though.
it does.
That's
Absolutely.
a great song.
It's so good. Absolutely. So, anyway. Morning Extra at Extra 106, Tug, Rhino, and Lowe's 404-741-1230, and across the social media platforms at Extra 1063. So yesterday, Trump sat down with the National Association of Black Journalists, and I tried to describe this to my wife last night. She was like, "How'd that go?" And I was like, "Well, the the first lady, who was a representative of ABC, went on the attack immediately, and Trump even addressed that. I was like, man, you didn't even say hello.
Right.
You just straight to the attack. You didn't even agree about it.
Well, Rachel Scott showed her exactly why she was there within a minute.
Yeah, clearly. And it put Donald Trump on the offensive immediately. And I think that's, where we'll start. We'll let you hear some of that.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question.
We can stop there for just a second. We can start back up. But that was what he meant immediately. Not even a hey, good day. Thanks for making.
Good morning.
Time.
Thanks for coming here.
Yeah. We know Kamala Harris didn't.
We invited both nominees, and you're the only one that showed up.
Sorry, we're 30 minutes late and our equipment's not working correctly, but we're glad that you're here. Absolutely, I think he's 100% right in that. Hey, this is the way you started off. You're going to ask tough questions. He knew they were going to come. But come out there and say, hey, we appreciate your time. We're sorry about any of the inconvenience. We know you have to go to a rally in Pennsylvania, so we're sorry we're late.
There's something very simple when it comes to interviewing, and maybe it's just that I have more experience. Maybe I'm just smarter than the person who's up on stage. If it takes that long for you to get to your question, you're setting a premise.
Yeah.
The person is basically set up to hit it out of the park. Your premise, your question, whatever you're asking, should not take that long.
Yeah.
It should not be 90 seconds, 2 minutes of I'm setting this entire story up. So by the time he just jumps right into it, well, first off, I find that to be very rude. Okay, you lost already.
Yeah. I mean, she could have just come out and say, hey, I'm about to play identity politics and I'm trying to goat you into some kind of answer we can use against you, blah, blah, blah. And Carlos is right. I mean, there are certain things you learn. Knowing that one of the things I learned about when you're asking questions is, number one, don't ever ask a yes or no answered question. If you ask a question that they could just say yes, no, you're not going to have a good interview. The other one is you never set up and kind of inject your own feelings into a question and make it that long to give them that time to think about it and then knock it out of the park the way he did.
But it wasn't even a question at all.
No, it was a statement.
It was just a statement. And
I'm going to say this, and I want you to respond to it.
That's exactly right.
Reject the premise.
That's right. Absolutely. Let's continue on. We hear the pick back up where we left off.
Don't even say hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
We're going to stop it just for a second, too. Because the one thing that I picked up on, because you saw it blow up on social media and everywhere else, I'm sure, across the networks, too, they're trying to make a big deal out of this. The one thing that I noticed, not one person booed.
No,
I never heard
laughed.
A boo. I heard some laughter.
Some clap.
I heard some appalled, grasp at the pro. I never heard anybody boo.
I know, they're so offended by things that are being said.
Yeah, but
only because it's who's there. And they're set that up.
If he had offended someone, don't you think they would boo? Because I do.
Sure, I do.
I boo.
I would imagine everyone in that room, because it's an industry room.
Yeah.
And everyone in that room recognizes he has, as of now, a court case that is moving forward against ABC and George Stephanopoulos for calling him a rapist. So when you hear them kind of laughing, it's like, it's almost a matter of, well, of course he's calling ABC News this. He's suing them.
Yeah. They know. They understand. But they also, at the same time, these are the same people who think the story's more about them than they do about actually writing a story that's journalistic in nature. So, of course, that some of them were gasp, but they know the truth.
Yeah, but I would have thought there would have been a boo.
Sure.
At least one. Right. At least somebody booing.
But it also does highlight what is going on right now with Donald Trump versus what is going on with Kamala Harris, where Kamala Harris is not, so far, answered any questions that are, again, forum-oriented, press
No
conference-oriented, because you recognize she's not capable of doing this. She's not able to sit in front of people, take questions, and be able to respond accordingly.
And does this hurt Trump in the long run? I mean, that's the ultimate question. And I think, yes, it can. I absolutely think the conversation about Kamala being Indian versus black can absolutely hurt Donald Trump.
Well, hey, everyone's thinking it.
But I think
that's part of the problem, though. I think you're right, and Carlos is right in the same manner. Yeah. You don't have to mention it, because I think a lot of black men and a lot of black women are looking at her and saying, she ain't really black. He didn't need to do that work or give Kamala Harris that kind of ammo at the same time.
Yeah. But the reason you do that, pardon me, if you're the folks on stage, is how do I get that soundbite? How do I get that gotcha? I'm going to set it up immediately, put him on the defensive, knowing that he's not going to take it well, and let me see what kind of response I can get.
I think he made a huge mistake in his response to Rachel Scott in the first place. And part of that reason is that, do I think he's right? Absolutely 100%. But the answer to this question is, number one, the 4 women of color or representatives of color he's talking about, we're all talking anti-American garbage, okay? When they talk about, you say this about, black journalists. No, hold on 1 second. This is what I would say if I was Donald Trump. First of all, I did not attack them because of the color of their skin. I attacked them because of their stupid ideas and policies. I was judging them on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. It wasn't about noticing them. I never said anything about them being, you're a bad black journalist. No, I said you asked a stupid question. You're just picking them because you're playing identity politics.
He gets after everybody.
Right.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's what I thought. Kind of along the same lines. Like, he said that to everybody.
Exactly.
It's not like he singled anybody out. He says that to everybody.
Right. He said it because you were wearing blue. He said it because your ideas are stupid. It wasn't because of the color of your skin. But see, they have to attach identity politics in order to make him look like Hitler, make him look like a racist. But the fact of the matter is this: those 4 people, no matter what color they were, whether they were white, black, or Asian, or anything else, they wanted to destroy this country. They said this is the worst country to be in. They said they hate America, so he basically told them, well, go back to where you came from. Whether or not he knew where they came from, it might not be. But it wasn't because of the color of skin. It was because of their dumb ideas.
Considering that most people, when we've seen the polling, have already made up their mind on who they're voting for, what they're voting for. Yesterday was the opportunity to make black Americans, whatever they've been thinking about Kamala Harris, basically point it out and say, no, you're right.
Yep.
You're absolutely right. It's like, when it was convenient for her, she was Indian. She's the first Indian senator. Here's what. Now it turns into, we need you to be something different. And if that does not point out, this is not somebody, again, history of slave ownership and everything else in her family. This is not someone who has the traditional black experience. Point it out. I know it makes people clutch their pearls and white people go, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. It's horrible. No. That is what black Americans are already thinking anyway.
Candace Owens did a whole segment about that on our podcast.
I'm glad she did.
That exact topic.
And he was 100% right. No matter which way you look at it, he's 100% right. And last night at the rally, they put up a Business Insider article that said, California's Kamala Harris becomes first Indian American U.S. Senator. This is the way she ran her campaign. She did things with Mindy Kaling at cooking shows. She accepted awards from the Indian American Association. She acted that she was playing the identity politics, saying, hey, this is the group I need to go ahead and get on my side, so this is who I am for this moment. I'm not saying she's not black and Indian, and neither was Donald Trump. What he's saying is, at one point she was this way,
she focused in one place or another when it was beneficial.
When it was convenient.
When it was beneficial to do so.
And then it was convenient that, hey, we need to energize the young black vote. Here we have Kamala Harris. So guess what? She's no longer going to be the first Indian American vice president. No, she was touted as, I am going to put the first black woman as my vice president. That's what that was, and that's the way they ran on it.
This is the Morning Xtra on Extra 106.3.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, August 1st. Authorities have issued a Levi's call for 2-month-old Rhea Clark after she was kidnapped from a Sandy Springs hotel early yesterday morning. Police are looking for baby Rhea's non-custodial father, Rainey Bernard Clark, who is also accused of shooting a relative in September. The details surrounding the abduction have not been released, and investigators say baby Rhea is in extreme danger. A second ex parte or secret meeting between Fulton County Superior Court Judge Ural Glanville and state prosecutors has defense lawyers in the YSL RICO gang trial calling for an immediate dismissal of the indictments against their clients. According to attorney Doug Weinstein, Judge Glanville met with prosecutors Adrian Love and Simone Hilton and gossiped like yentas over 13 pages of transcripts about defense attorneys Max Shart, John Melnick, and Brian Steele during a June 7th secret meeting right before the June 10th secret meeting that spurred the recusal of Judge Glanville. And in sports, the Braves have won 4 of their last 5 games after Matt Olson and Travis d'Arnaud hit back-to-back homers not once, but twice in the game. The Braves went on to a 6-2 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, giving them the series win. The Braves are back at Truist Park tonight to take on the Miami Marlins, who are currently on a 4-game losing streak. Charlie Martin will throw out the first pitch tonight at 7:20.
CNN's going to bury any positive stories they have about Donald Trump or not writing them at all. They'll replace them with stories about Long Butt. We'll talk about that next on Extra 106.3.
Atlanta radio legends, proud military vets, national network experts are all on Extra 106.3.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months.
With live and local shows in the morning and afternoon, and the biggest conservative hosts in the country throughout the day, we are always here with the latest news and opinions you need.
There's no chance if the media and the Department of Justice and social media are all against you.
No traffic interruptions, no former shock jocks, just Atlanta legends you've turned to for a generation. The conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Diamonds Direct Atlanta is now open. The nation's fastest growing jewelry store now is a location right here in Buckhead. Shopping for the perfect ring to pop the question? Or maybe an everyday diamond tennis bracelet? The experts at Diamonds Direct are sure to have exactly what you're looking for, no matter the occasion. With the lowest direct importer pricing, you can expect the best selection of certified diamonds at unmatched prices, all within a luxury showroom atmosphere that makes you feel right at home. Come see what other jewelers are trying to replicate. Diamonds Direct's unbeatable after-the-sale guarantees and warranties are the best you can find. Free cleanings, sizing, polishing, accent diamond replacement for the lifetime of your purchase. If that's not enough, they also offer a 110% upgrade policy for you to use as often as you'd like on your diamond engagement ring, pendant, or studs. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, come see how Diamonds Direct is reinvigorating the jewelry industry at their brand new Buckhead showroom. When you want to have complete confidence in your jewelry buying experience, shop with the experts at Diamonds Direct. Now open on the corner of Maple Drive Northeast and Peachtree.
You have enough to deal with after an accident. You don't want to spend a lot of that time messing around with insurance companies. Besides, what are you going to say to them? You really know the ins and outs? David Van Sant at Van Sant Law does. He used to work for the insurance companies. Their worst nightmare. He knows who to call, what to say, how to listen to him, and he has your best interest at heart. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
UCB Inc. has openings for Associate General Counsel, Neurology and Rare Disease U.S. located in Smyrna, Georgia. Job duties include providing day-to-day in-house legal support to the U.S. Rare Disease and Neurology Organization and its U.S. portfolio and sit on the Rare Disease leadership team at the global level. This is a full-time position. Multiple positions available. Travel required up to 15% of working time, typically 2 to 3 international trips per year and approximately 3 domestic trips per year. Position based in Smyrna, Georgia. Telecommuting permitted up to 60% of working time. Apply with resume to hranswers@ucb.com and reference job ID 5954074.
It's August 1st, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is known as Dogust 1st. It's the universal birthday for shelter dogs, set in 2008 by North Shore Animal League America. George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones debuts in 1966. Decades later, was turned into a smash TV series by HBO. Anne Frank was just 15, hiding out in Nazi-occupied Holland with 7 others in a secret room. Writes her last entry into her diary. She died in 1945 from typhus at Germany's Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Born on this day in 1819, the author of Moby Dick, Herman Melville. And Francis Scott Key in 1779, he wrote the national anthem.
And the rocket's red glare.
Country singer Luke Bryan doing the honors at the 2017 Super Bowl on Fox. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Hey, it's your old pal Neil Bortz. I'm back on Atlanta's only conservative news talk station, Xtra 106.3. Okay, here's more of the Morning Xtra.
Doug, Rhino, and Lowe's on the Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3. Thank you for being here. You've heard about droopy face, and some women are even reporting droopy boobs if you take Ozempic. Well, now...
Oh, no.
Yes.
Another Ozempic topic. I'm so excited.
Well, it's kind of.
Oh, no, come on. Let's
this just kind of getting you to the fact that Lululemon has pulled their new line of breeze through leggings because they're claiming people that have worn them, the women who wear them, claims it gives them long butt.
Long butt.
That's what is being reported.
Is it because it's not propping it up or not holding it?
I guess it, but they pulled it because it's giving them long butt, and these things are like $100. Leggings have a V-shaped back seam which rises above the seat all the way to the lower back, and it's not flattering. It's actually making women's backsides look long and flat and not.
Hold on.
That's not the reason they pay $100 for it, is to have long butt.
Why do they care at all? Because aren't we supposed to accept a woman no matter what she looks like? Why are they so focused on making it shapely and beautiful?
That's what ugly women say.
That's what Kamala Harris said.
That's what they all say on that side. Lululemon and all that.
That's what all those women with the pink hair who you're trying to rape me always say.
Yeah.
No, so this apparently is a stitching issue.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
no.
Right. Yeah. $98. These things are $98.
Those TikTok ones that all the girls wear that make their butts look perfect. I don't know what they're called. Those things are great. Are they called perfect butt? Whatever those. I mean, there went that phase where they look kind of like thermal underwear and gray, and they make that butt look.
They have like a stitch right in the crack,
right in the butt crack.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're perfect. I'll show you plenty of pictures.
I have them all favorited. I can get to them easily,
and I don't care what shape you're in. No matter what, your butt looks good in those.
So the folks at Lululemon said they're going to reconsider the design. Quote: "We have made decisions to pause sales for now and make any adjustments necessary to deliver the best possible product experience." So it just goes against everything. All of those things that you just said,
silly.
like all the Democrat talking points, all the crazy lefty loony talking points, they're all bullcrap, and Lululemon just proved it.
I know that Clay Travis talks about being a free speech and boob absolutionist. It's like I'm absolutely 100% on board with both of these. I'm that way with the yoga pant.
Yeah.
Even women who shouldn't wear the yoga pant, I still say, good for you for wearing the yoga pant. Because the yoga pant is an outstanding invention that makes so many of y'all look 100%.
Great. But I'll be honest, I mean, on the same thing, a size 12 yoga pant makes you look fat.
Oh,
because you know why?
It tells the truth.
It accentuates.
I think it just tells the truth.
Right.
The yoga pant tells the truth.
Yeah. When people, the reason I look fat is because I'm fat.
Yeah, same.
Now, no matter what I wear, I'm still going to look fat. Nothing's going to make me look skinnier. I guess if I wore spandex.
You should wear really, really tight clothing.
Like
all
Spanx
the time.
Unfortunately, I have to because I used to not weigh this much, and I don't want to pay for new clothing.
That's right. No, right now everything's just so tight.
It's like that is medium. No, I'm like, no, that's a medium.
Yeah, medium.
I love reading these articles one after another about the dreaded long butt.
Dude,
that women are like, did you just give me long butt?
Yeah. How could you do that to me?
And I get
I paid you $100 to give me long butt.
The stitching is supposed to accentuate. It's supposed to make sure everything is held in place.
Look at long butt.
That is a failure.
That if it's not holding everything in place, then you end up with long butt. And if I'm spending $100, I don't want long butt, I guess.
Whoa.
What we've got
I don't
here
have safety on this thing.
Is a failure. That is what Lululemon is facing today. Long butt. And anybody who says they don't want their butt to look good is lying to you. Any woman that says they don't want to look good in the yoga pant and people to look at them and notice that they look good in the yoga pant is lying to you. Now, they can get on TV and pretend, and they can throw their hands to their side and how could you sexualize women and all this whatever nonsense. It's all bullcrap.
I'm looking on this, on all the pictures of all these different leggings.
Yeah.
And on all of these mannequins that are shaped appropriately and anatomically correct, I don't see long butt. So what I'm going with is not the leggings that make you have long butt. It's the fact that you actually have a ugly long butt.
Well, you're buying the pants to
overcome
pretend.
that. To overcome that. Yeah, to pretend.
That's why you're buying them.
Yeah,
you're buying them for them to boost you. And if
make
it's
you
not
look
boosting you, then...
And make you look a particular way.
Right.
Yeah. And to be...
it's the same thing with the right type of bra. It's going to have a certain presentation to it, and that's where you're buying it for.
Right. No,
I did 3 squats this week. I still have long butt. Like, sorry, you have long butt.
$100.
And the fact that you paid $98 for these things, that's just dumb.
But, dude, you should think the line at Lululemon and Avalon and Alpharetta is like a mile long, man.
Of course.
That place is full. That's the I bet
because they're hoping not to show their long butt.
Well, right. They want to get away from it. And that's why Lululemon is pulling these off the racks quick. Because long butt is becoming such an issue.
Their stock is fallen 50% this year and an 18% drop this month because of long butt.
Now, what's the equivalent on the dude side of long butt? Is there an equivalent? Like dad bod, I guess, or big belly, beer belly? What's the equivalent?
When do you buy a shirt to make your belly look smaller?
I've never
Exactly.
I've never done that. I know they exist. I've seen them on social media. I've seen them on infomercials.
My friend Hoyt, who used to be our coworker, he had his Manx.
Yeah.
Is the joke around about him.
Right.
And so when
Manx?
Yeah, when he had to dress up, he would buy the shirt that would basically restrict the belly.
The appearance.
And so then whenever he wore anything that was like a suit or anything along those lines, he would look much more trim in that.
So he got a corset.
Yes, of course.
It's a man corset.
He did.
Yeah.
Why are you gay?
Yes. But he freely admits it. He's like, I got my Manx on, which
Yeah.
is also why he got on Ozempic and he dropped the 25 pounds.
So
is he off of it now?
Ozempic?
No, he's hooked.
No,
I saw him in an alley the other day, stabbing himself in the butt with an Ozempic needle.
Over and over and over
Yeah, it's
again?
been a really sad
It's like
story.
OD that we
Hoyt's
talked about
fallen far.
Has
Sad, yeah.
He's just sitting there. He's like,
doing
I
Ozempic
need
in
my
alleys.
Oz.
Yeah,
Give me the Oz.
Scratching. Yep. Yeah. It's a sad story.
It's like Tyro Biggles.
I can't. They're going to do the True Hollywood story on it.
The Brian
The Fall
Hoyt.
of Grace.
Yeah, Brian
God.
Hoyt.
He's one of the best too in the business, man.
No doubt about it.
So
man.
sad.
Good Lord. So
using Ozempic in alleys.
the difference is at Lululemon, somebody's going to be held accountable for this, right? Somebody will. There will be.
The guy who decided apparently the V stitch that makes it go all the way to your upper back.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Which I don't know why you're wearing them that high anyway.
But can you imagine that just they'll be like, nah, it's fine. You know, I know you're costing us a boatload of money and our stock's down and we're getting all this bad press, but that's fine. No worries. That's never going to happen. Not in a for-profit business. Yet the Secret Service, they will do nothing. I expect no changes at the Secret Service. Zero. Now, will they do the song and dance that, after this hearing, we're going to put all of our thoughts together and we're going to become
have a focus group.
That's right. And we'll write a report and we'll have it to you in 60 to 90 days, if ever. It'll never be brought up again. It'll just go like dust in the wind.
So, considering that we've had Donald Trump hit in the head with a bullet and nothing will happen, well, it's par for the course. I mean, we drone striked a family of like 10 in Afghanistan, killed them all, and then what did they end up saying? You know, we had some troubles with the chain of command. Did anybody get punished for it? No. Not at all. Not on anyone's record. No one had to account for it. It's just business as usual, and that's what's going to happen with this as well.
The only person that has been fired from the Biden administration that I know of, well, I guess now two, Kimberly Cheadle. Yeah.
Well,
Resigned. That's so she could not say, so she could say she didn't get fired. She decided she chose the route for her. Is the Sam Britton dude. The dude that stole the women's luggage. That's the only person.
I've been thieving luggage. Oh, they're getting me out of here.
But that was after he stole again, because the first time they didn't fire him. Right? They didn't keep going down. It's the same story. Listen,
the first time.
The media doesn't care. The media doesn't. This is only for us.
They want to brush it under the rug.
The story on CNN, it's not there. There's nothing on it. In fact, you'll get more about an Iranian terrorist who was killed and assassinated and all the things behind that. What's behind that? Who is Ismail? Let's talk about that. But not one story will be about why is the U.S. Secret Service such a mess right now? Why is nobody being held accountable? Why is there no account? Why are we not investigating that? But instead, we're going to play this game, and that's what this is. They don't have to be accountable to anyone except for Republicans and the people they tried to assassinate. That's it. And they don't care to tell the truth. They're going to hide it. Again, they're going to tell you this is for the best. This is for the protection of the American people. They can't know everything that happened that day.
You brought up CNN, and I'm glad you did. Guess where that Lululemon story came from?
CNN. Yeah, it's up here.
Secret Service?
No, there's not one story about that. Of course, we got the say it to my face. Harris calls out Trump during Atlanta rally. We got plenty of Olympic coverage, tons of that. I don't see it. Boar's Head's going to recall 7 million more pounds of meat products. Carrie Lake, all the way down here at the bottom, will win GOP Senate primary. Internet's in love with South Korea's Brexit.
So I'm saying. Secret Service testimony?
Consumers are rejecting $6 iced coffee at Starbucks. Why Americans are stubbing McDonald's and Starbucks.
Because they can't afford it, fools.
That's the deep analysis CNN's got for you.
And Lululemon.
Hold on. Also, REI just took half off over 100 Patagonian pieces. That's a big story going on right now.
And if you link to it from CNN, they get $1 or $2. So as many people that can buy, please do.
Ooh, dozen portable chargers that are the best for your phone. And still have not seen anything on the U.S. Secret Service and what's going on to protect. Because you know what? You should be protecting Kamala Harris. You should be protecting Joe Biden. You should be protecting RFK Jr., Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and whoever she chooses as her VP running mate. Those are the people that should be concerned about what's going on right now. Yet we don't have any story in any other mainstream media about this.
And you won't, because they want it to go away just as much as the Secret Service wants it to go away. What? This is not useful to them, Los.
No, and anything that happens to pump up Donald Trump or make it all of us, including Trump, versus them, they don't want any part of that.
No, of course they don't.
The federal government is as rotten as it gets. And the reason why Trump does have the popularity he does and the movement does have the energy it does is because it's very much an us versus them mentality.
And they're the media wing, and they're the communications wing for the Democrats.
And again, he's the Republican nominee. Man, there are so many Republicans that hate him too.
Yeah,
and so that's why the whole all of this is being memory holds. Like by the time we get to October, and you say something about a Trump assassination attempt, people are going to be like, "Oh man, that was." Did that really happen?
Or that feels like that was 10 years ago.
Hold on.
That's what they're going to do.
I'm going to go into AI. No, it says it's fictitious. It's a fictitious event.
Snopes has already told me that it happened.
Yeah, by the way,
Kamala Harris,
and they'll quote Christopher Wray.
Oh, yeah.
And to think when Mark Zuckerberg was like, well, that's like the most badass thing I've ever seen in my life, to see Donald Trump jump back up on stage and pump his fist and say to fight. And you thought for 1 minute when he said, well, I'm not committing the money that I did to the last election to this one. You think for 1 minute he's worried about that when he's going to use Meta AI to tell you what's right and what's wrong and what actually happened and what didn't?
Yeah. Dude, absolutely. AI is only going to be able to regurgitate what is put into it. So if leftist nonsense is what makes up the base of the AI computer, then leftist nonsense is what it's going to spit out.
Well, the media should be covering all of this and holding them account, but they won't.
No, they won't, because they agree with it.
No, because what they're going to do is pander for a party. They're going to pander for the Democrat Party the way the mainstream media is. Here's their biggest story in politics. which I find hysterical. Biden is now calling on Congress and agencies to take action aimed at curbing the flow of fentanyl into this country. After 200,000 people, over 200,000 people now, have died from the flow of fentanyl. After we passed an H.R. 2 that would have secured the border, fought the cartels, and taken care of this, a long time ago, that you allowed. This is the kind of pandering that the news is going to do. They're not going to stick to the things that we really need to be talking about right now. Are our candidates safe? Should we be attending any kind of rally? Should they really be upping security? What are we going to do to protect all of the candidates that are involved in this year's election?
And it's kind of like you would hope that there would be somebody that at one of these news outlets that, even if they disagree with it, would be able to be honest and tell the truth. Like the NPR whistleblower. Whatever happened to that guy? You know what I mean? The guy that was in the newsroom is like, dude, everything we push is nothing more than leftist propaganda for the most part. And he's like, I even agree with it, but I know it's wrong. We can't.
And
just
how quick did they turn on him?
Dude, like a viper.
You got to go. You told the truth.
He's like, look, I agree with everything they wrote.
But there should
like,
be some balance.
Fire him now.
He has got to go. And
bring in someone more progressive. We can't allow this to go this way.
And that's why you see Lululemon stories instead of the Secret Service story on CNN's website and probably in their broadcast. I mean, it should be unnerving. It should be jarring to the majority of Americans. But I contend that majority of Americans don't even realize it. Now, I think it's the opening up, the freedom of speech platform known as Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, that is eroding away the foundation of that trust, the foundation of that grasp that the media has, and that's why they hate it. And Logie brought that up a million times. That was the biggest death nail. That's why they hate Elon Musk. That's why they turned on him like a pit viper the same way. So that's eroding, but it's not going to be for a few more years that people finally see the light.
Well, your media, your social media as well, just how dirty, how scandalous, how slanted it is. I went over to Google Gemini, so this is their AI.
There we go.
And I asked, was Donald Trump shot? It basically told me that it could not respond to me and that, I should probably do a Google search. Then I asked it a different question. What is a fish? A fish is an aquatic, gill-bearing vertebrate animal with fins. While it's a general definition, the world of fish is incredibly diverse. There are over 34,000 known species, ranging from tiny guppies to massive whale sharks. But it can't tell me
if Donald Trump got shot. Which just happened, on the 13th. Ever how many days ago that's been? 19 days, 20 days, whatever it is.
Was Donald Trump shot? Your answer from Gemini, I can't help with that right now. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, but I can make mistakes sometimes.
What do you mean as accurate as possible? The FBI just told you it absolutely happened. What more do you need?
But this is the way it is, okay? I did the same thing in ChatGPT, which is a little bit different, and it only comes up with a story out of Europe. No stories from any American news sites. It says, we've searched 5 sites. This is all we found. Former President Donald Trump was shot in the ear during a campaign rally.
Oh, my. The media. They talk a lot about J.D. Vance, too, and you immediately notice when they do that how little they know about him. Next on the Morning Xtra, Tug, Rhino, and Los until 10.
The 2024 election changes by the day. So with the future of the country on the line, you need more than headlines. You need the conservative voices you can trust, which is why the Conservative Voice of Atlanta brings you the local and national voices you need most to make sense of all the noise. We bring you proud veterans, Atlanta talk radio legends, and local perspectives that shape our communities.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on Xtra 106.3.
The Atlanta Braves are proud to host Alumni Weekend, presented by your local Ford dealer, August 23rd through the 25th, when the Washington Nationals come to Truist Park. The weekend kicks off Friday with a Braves Legends Parade through the Battery, followed by an alumni roll call on the field. Saturday's activities include autograph sessions with your favorite former Braves and the always competitive Home Run Derby competition. Don't miss the fun. Find all the details and get your tickets at braves.com/alumni weekend.
Tax season can be stressful, but it's also a wake-up call. It's time to think beyond April and plan for your future. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we're not just advisors. We're your partners in building a secure retirement. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we understand the challenges Georgians face. That's why we offer personalized strategies to maximize your retirement income, minimize taxes, and ensure you never outlive your assets. Join the Master Plan family and let us guide you through every financial milestone. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your appointment today. Master Plan Retirement Consultants, where your journey and destination are both important. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word HEDGE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text HEDGE to 989898. That's HEDGE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
Your voice, your vote. And this year it matters more than ever. So for the unbiased election coverage that affects your family and your community, trust the voices that matter when it matters the most. Xtra 1063 and the Xtra app.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. So much to talk about on this Thursday, but a lot of talk about J.D. Vance. And when the media talks about J.D. Vance, one thing is abundantly clear. Front office, Los.
I love when media doesn't have any idea what they're talking about.
It's talking circles.
Right?
They say stupid stuff, and you're like, well, that's not right.
Part of the reason why we do show prep is that if there's something that we're unfamiliar with, we're going to familiarize ourselves. And then I think we're pretty honest with the audience.
At least relatively.
Like, I will flat out say, I have not been following this to this extent, and I'll normally fall back on you two guys. Like, tell me about this. Explain this to me. So this is Molly Jong Fast over on MSNBC. We just couldn't get it in the show yesterday. There was too much stuff going on and everything on Capitol Hill. And this woman decided she was going to go on MSNBC. And when it came to...
Isn't it always MSNBC, though? It's always those clowns.
There's just something about, if you're going to be the paid expert analyst, maybe you should have an idea when you start asserting that J.D. Vance is all about white supremacy and white kids and having white babies, despite the fact that he's married to an Indian woman.
The stats are there. More and more Americans choosing not to have kids, which again emphasizes why J.D. Vance's comments about childless Americans, childless cat ladies, could be so politically damaging.
Well, so what's interesting is this natalism that comes from an authoritarian playbook, right? That there need to be more white children, right? That's the idea, that there's, this is about great replacement theory, racism, right? This is what this is. So don't misunderstand it for him wanting more children. He wants a certain kind of, racist thing.
Yet he cut his own throat with his own desires by marrying a woman who's not white.
I went ahead and undermined my own white supremacy by marrying an Indian woman and having 3 kids.
It's his repentance. It's like, I'm repenting.
That's right.
It didn't take long for her to shut down her
She signed off everything.
Yeah, and she's gone. Why? Because the reality of that entire clip, which I find funny ending the way it did, is there's only one racist in this situation, and it happened to be her.
It's so clear.
That's it. But this is the identity politics they are going to play. They have no issue that Kamala Harris could win on.
No.
She can't win on the border. The only thing, if you watch her new commercials that are going every 5 minutes, which I think is hilarious, is they go back to her being an AG and being a DA. And then the only thing that she's linking her vice presidency to right now is she got Medicare to $35 or insulin prices to $35 a month, which wasn't even her policy.
Why does everyone claim this? Why does that side always claim this?
But again, we're running. So the Democrats have one issue. They want to run on small groups. So they target small groups. They're going for the insulin because, number one, it's a group of elderly that they feel like, oh, okay, that's going to pull on the heartstrings. But in reality, it's less than 1% of this country that need insulin because of type 1 diabetes. So that doesn't help a majority of the country. Then they go to the small group and go, hey, let's play identity politics with the word black. Because it's okay when they say, hey, we've created more jobs for black Americans or black jobs. Or black entrepreneurs or black business owners. So when they attach a word, it's fine. And they goat you into saying the same thing, except you said black jobs instead of black workers. But now you're the bad guy. This is all they have.
Yeah.
They have to claim racism. They have to make up these because they have nothing else to run on.
But he's got to be careful. Donald Trump, I'm talking about Donald Trump. He's got to be careful because they're going to use everything they can. They will make up things, Russia collusion. They will make up things.
What's the big deal? They already shot at him.
That's exactly right.
And you're worried about what they're going to use?
No. Well,
they put a bullet in his head.
Right. No, I get it. I mean, when you're thinking about severity, but for that very small, because we all agree, I think that there's such a very small group of people in America that have not decided. And how do you influence them? 96% of the media saying one thing in echo chamber style will convince. I used the example of my son the other day when he was talking about Kamala's polls being up. And he was like, what do you think about that? And I was like, I don't think it's real. I think they've got nothing else to talk about. But the point I'm bringing up, the reason I bring it all up is just stick to the issues. Point out the same things that you're talking about, because she doesn't have anything to rebut it with.
Yeah, unless you have something that you can rebut identity politics with and you're strong enough to do it, stay away from it. Hit right back to the issues. One of the good things he did yesterday during this press conference in a hostile territory is he said, well, I'm going to get energy going. That's going to bring down inflation. That's going to bring down interest. I'm going to do that because that affects every American, no matter what color you are, what religion, or who you want to sleep with. That's where he needs to stay, because all they're going to do is go, hey, you're going on issues that we're going to lose on. We're going to pull you back and make you a racist.
I think this is a different time period, because I always talk about how when we were in 2020, even though you're dealing with the pandemic, the deal was that we were still relatively safe. We were relatively well off. Things were going well, so we would focus on other things to where you could actually get upset about a fentanyl addict dying in the streets of Minneapolis. That's the sort of stuff we had time for. Ain't nobody got time for that. And so we're at the point now where we're still playing this game of, well, you can't say this or that. The thing is those rules don't apply right now. They really don't. You are still thinking in terms of, oh, if Donald Trump says this or that, you know what Donald Trump and people are looking for? Lower the cost of my crap.
I agree with you.
Lower the cost of my crap.
I know you're right. When the rubber meets the road, that's it. But people who are emotional by nature, and there's some of them that are out there that haven't decided who they're voting for, that will be swayed, that will be influenced by it.
What was yesterday? Yesterday was the 31st. Rent was due.
Yeah.
Mortgages were due.
Absolutely. Yep. All that's true.
You want to be offended over what a man is saying on a stage about about a VP, or do you want to be offended at your mortgage or your
you're going from logic and common sense, which we all want to do on the show, but there's so many people that don't think like that. They think with their emotion first.
No, I'm just saying, when you talk about what's going to get those emotions going quicker.
Oh, yeah. You're saying, yeah. Now, if you bring it up.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yes, now it's brilliant.
You're looking at this over here going, I can't believe you said this on this stage. Meanwhile, you just spent $3,000 on a 2-bedroom apartment.
Trump's got to point that out.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why, I think he did a pretty good job during that, avoiding some of the identity politics and the landmines,
pitfalls,
and kind of started going in on that, like, hey, you shouldn't be paying this amount. He did a better job when he got to his rally last night in Harrisburg. He had a woman who came up there who voted Democrat for her whole life, and then all of a sudden came down and said, hey, here's where I'm struggling. I want my kids to play sports, but because of the way the inflation and the economy is right now as a single mother, I can't afford to bring my kids to sports. I can't afford to go on a vacation. We depend on being able to go and hang out in the backyard or go to a park on a Saturday. Those are our vacations at this point. So those are the kind of things that we need to keep pushing, because Carlos is right. Economy will always trump any kind of identity politics, because no matter what happened yesterday, people are waking up today looking and going, all right, what do I need to not pay so that I can afford to stay in my home?
Man, I know that's right, but I'm telling you, the media cycle,
but emotion is going to
so important.
Drive people. Yes,
they are, and I think if Trump, you're 100% right. I'm not arguing your point, because I know you're right.
I know.
But the problem is, so many people, after they pay that, they don't think about it again. They go right back to the news or social media, and they get back in their emotional echo chamber, and that stuff doesn't matter anymore. Trump's got to do a better job of pounding that. What happened yesterday? What are you paying more for? What can't you afford because of these people?
Right now, poor Joe is sitting over there thinking to himself, man, I'm living at home, I'm saving money, and the cost of Zyn is outrageous. Meanwhile,
there's a shortage. Oh, no, and then on top of it.
Meanwhile, we're all pointing out, like, I can't believe Donald Trump did this, I can't believe he said this and this, and all Joe cares about is, I don't give a dams, there's a shortage on Zyn, and it's expensive.
Can't afford it. I know. Joe, do you feel that way?
In Trump's America, there was no shortage on Zyn. Right? Come on, people. Let's wake this thing up a little bit.
Instead of fentanyl coming across the border, Zyn.
That's right. Exactly.
Give me all
Zyn. Give me all that Zyn.
2024 Zyn.
That's exactly right. Make that the campaign platform. We're bringing Zyn back cheaper, and we're making sure there's plenty of it. When we come back, new video has emerged of Thomas Crooks running across the top of a building before he shot at Donald Trump, which changes everything. Next on the Morning Extra.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's the camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
The left manages to manipulate language, using words, using phrases seemingly innocuous, but that slowly over time create a specific mindset for you, a mindset that aids the left.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on Extra 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
So, Robert, I want to thank you for your time. I just don't think you're the right person for this position.
I don't understand. Was it something I said?
Well, we did a background check on you and found some things of concern.
If you're in charge of hiring for your company, you know how helpful a background screening can be. That's why companies that use Horizon background screening make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com. horizonscreening.com.
Military Matters.
A new 114-page bipartisan report ordered by Congress finds the U.S. is not prepared for the most serious and most challenging threat since World War II. The Commission on National Defense Strategy concludes there is a real risk, even likelihood, of a near-term global war, and the U.S. is not prepared. Former Democratic Congresswoman Jane Harman chaired the commission.
We found that the joint force is at the breaking point of maintaining readiness today. Adding more burden without adding resources to rebuild readiness will cause it to break.
Recent recruitment shortfalls have decreased the size of the Army, Air Force, and Navy. The U.S. Defense Industrial Base is unable to meet the equipment, technology, and munitions needs of the U.S. and allies. Eric Edelman, the report's co-chair, calls for much higher spending on defense as a proportion of GDP, 5 to 6%, as opposed to the current 3% spent by the United States. Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Democracy 2024.
Former President Trump responding to presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Vice President Kamala Harris, saying she'd proudly put her record against his.
Well, Kamala, let's go. Challenge accepted. Are you ready? Let's compare our record point by point.
Telling a Harrisburg crowd,
she is the most extreme liberal candidate in the history of our country by far.
Slamming the Biden administration's border policies.
She inherited the strongest border in U.S. history and immediately turned it into the worst border nightmare in the history of the world.
Taking aim at Harris's push for stricter gun control measures and green energy policies, vowing to protect the Second Amendment and to better secure the border.
Nothing will stop us on our mission to make America great again. Nothing's going to stop us.
Reflecting on being back in Pennsylvania since being shot. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
With so many questions about what happens next, trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the latest news and the voices you need during such an uncertain time in America.
I'm hoping that, in fact, if we get a Republican administration, and maybe this may be the death knell for the Democrats in both the Senate as well as Congress, and then maybe finally we'll start getting to some of these answers.
Proud to be Atlanta's conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
Plotting their revenge. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Iranian officials are meeting today with allies of their proxy militant groups from Iraq and Lebanon and Yemen, according to Reuters, after the missile strike in Iran that killed Hamas's political leader hours after Israel killed a Hezbollah commander. And as Fox's Jonathan Savage reports, Israel's also killed another terror leader.
Mohammed Deif's death was suspected after an airstrike in Gaza on July 13th. The Israeli military now able to confirm that's the case. Deif was the head of the military wing of Hamas and considered an architect of the October 7th attacks. Some 1,200 people were killed in Israel that day.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. Now, 3 of the 5 9/11 terror suspects have worked out plea deals with the U.S. government at Guantanamo, sparing them from the death penalty.
It's just terrible, and it's shocking.
Brett Eagleson's father was killed in the 2001 attacks. He's now the president of the group 9/11 Justice and tells Fox,
they cannot put these animals away and not let them see a trial.
One of the 3 in the deal, the mastermind of the attack, using hijacked airplanes to crash into buildings, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Former President Trump will be interviewed by the FBI today about the assassination attempt 19 days ago.
I should not be with you today. I shouldn't be with you, but I am.
That was last night at his first rally in Pennsylvania since, hours after the former president touted himself as the best president for black Americans since Abraham Lincoln, at a black journalist convention, where he also caused controversy, saying this about Vice President Harris.
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
Harris told supporters in Houston, same old Trump show of divisiveness and disrespect.
And let me just say, the American people deserve better.
Today, Democrats start a virtual roll call vote to nominate the vice president. America's listening to Fox News.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm going to let you in on a wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile want you to believe you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges you for data you need. For just $25 a month, get unlimited talk talk, text, and 5 gigs of data, plus mobile hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk to switch easily. And save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
No traffic, no big deal. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
No shoes.
No shirt. No problems. I got to know front office Lois is doing the 6, now the 7, potentially the 8 and the 9. We're not sure. This show without shoes on.
No traffic. No shoes.
Nope.
All right. No shirt?
No.
Well, we're all keeping our clothes on. Yeah, we're keeping clothes on. This is not the Kimber show.
My boots are too hard to put back on.
Joe just took his shoes off, too.
The Kimber show is the only show that endorses nudity.
Okay. Me and Rhino
on the YouTube channel.
Me and Rhino are both wearing boots today, so we're both keeping our boots on.
You know what I'm having a hard time finding, and I've been looking around for it.
What?
There's supposed to be a boxing match at the Olympics. And I've been trying to track it down.
Supposed to be at 6:20, I thought.
6:20, 6:30, and I've been searching everywhere.
And nowhere.
And I talked about having a hard time finding it.
The Italian, I believe it's an Italian woman that he's fighting.
Right. It's and the dude is, was he from Taiwan? Maybe?
Algeria is this one. There's another one from Taiwan,
then the other was Taiwan. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about all this.
Who couldn't qualify for other boxing matches because he had too much testosterone.
Just a little heads up that's what's going on. And it's hard to find, which we talked about how you weren't going to be able to see it.
Why?
You're going to bury it.
Celebrate it.
No.
Aren't you celebrating the fact that, you know, a man who is playing make-a-believe and pretending he's a woman is about to beat up another woman? I mean, that's what the left wants. They want to see this kind of equity, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
But is that equitable? She doesn't have testosterone.
Yeah, it doesn't seem
but
equitable.
He does.
They started out in different places.
Huh. Oh.
You know?
Oh.
Yeah. But they can't end in the same place, even though Kamala would like that to be the case, because one's got to lose.
Well, they should be...
One's got to lose.
Well, they should just call it a draw every time.
I would think. If you're living in Kamala Harris' world, then that's what you would do. Los, you tell us if you run across...
I'm looking.
The Olympic boxing, where the transgendered woman, who is biologically a man, is fighting a woman in the Olympics, and then again tomorrow. So, well, yeah, if you run across that,
tomorrow 9:30 is the other fight.
Okay, yeah, so
with the other lady man.
Yeah, so let us know if you run across the one for today.
Yeah,
and then we'll kick it all around. But it's I find it so bizarre that everybody's just like, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's all good.
That's trans right to beat up a woman.
It's all good.
You got to celebrate trans rights.
I suppose. I just don't want to celebrate anything that is
weird.
Really weird. Yes, Rhino. Yes, that's exactly right. And I know weird is a relative term, right?
Yeah.
You know,
I'm weird.
Yeah, maybe we all have a little something weird. You know, we're all a little different in some ways. Maybe. I do something, you're like, man, that's weird that you do that.
Right.
You know, it's strange.
I celebrate weirdness, actually.
Yeah, for the most part. I think we all can agree that things happen and it's different than the way you would do it. But I don't know how you just say a dude fighting a woman is perfectly fine and there's nothing to see here.
You're afraid to speak out against the same group that you're okay with them silencing somebody that feels differently. You're okay with that. You're afraid that's going to come down on you, so you cower and go, well, I'm just not going to I'm not going to go against that. I'm not going against that narrative, but the fact of the matter is this, not one person who loves their family, loves their children, their wives, their sisters, their mothers, want to see a man come in with a wig on and a beard and some really bad place lipstick and punch their, significant other, family member in the face.
Theo Vaughn, who I've only been familiar with for about 6 or 8 months. My son introduced me to him, as far as his, his comedy routines and his podcast and all that sort of stuff. And I find him funny. Gosh, I think he's so funny. Do y'all keep up with him at all? Theo Vaughn?
A little bit. I mean, I see some of his stuff.
I think he's a weird dude and weird. So funny.
Yeah.
But to the point this morning, or I guess this would have been yesterday evening, dear men who are playing in women's sports, quit the BS. You know what you're doing. Don't do it, bro. I mean, it's pretty straight. Even a comedian is like, hang on.
Yeah, come on.
What? Yeah, how am I supposed to take this seriously?
But this is all they have, okay? You know, the whole weird term is because they can't say border secure. The weird term is because they can't say people are doing better since we've been in office. We have to go and play games and virtue signal and call names because we have nothing else. So we're going to raise emotion. So weird. Oh, you're weird. Not knowing that I'm fine with it. Call weird. I'm okay with weird because when you look at it and turn it around, you can't sit there and say that we're weird and you're not, because it's all in someone's mind what they decide is weird.
I have not been able to confirm all of this. But what I will tell you is it looks like the fight lasted 46 seconds.
What?
Oh, I bet she knocked him out.
Apparently, and again, there's a lot of this is in Italian, and so I'm trying to, because obviously they're awake and they're watching and all this sort of stuff. Sure. So it appears that Angela Carini, who was the fighter who was going to fight Iman Khalif today,
and Iman Khalif is the transgendered woman, so physically and biologically a
biological male.
Yeah.
Who the at the time the International Boxing Association ran him out because it didn't qualify as a sex
gender
test.
test.
Didn't pass the gender test.
Yes, that's right.
From the looks of it, whether it's a broken nose or not, Angela Carini basically after 46 seconds of the fight was like, "No, I'm not fighting this person."
Oh, so she just said, "I'm not doing it." So what?
Here's the look of the limited amount of stuff you're going to see.
All right,
he puts one good shot on her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, we're not doing this."
Good for her, man.
So, I want to see how this plays out a little further.
I think that actually brings more attention to the unfairness, if that's even the right way to say it, the unfair nature of this fight. I think she did the wisest thing she could. First of all, she didn't get her face bashed in by a dude. And then secondly, she just says, "Hey, this isn't fair, and I'm going to call it out on an international, on a global scale. I'm going to hold up my hand and say this is not fair."
I don't think this was that she was hurt by the punch. I don't think that she broke her nose. What I think is she made one of the most powerful statements a woman can make, saying, "You know what? Because I guarantee you, a lot of other boxers in this competition have been in her ear in the village saying, you know, it's unfair that you have to fight a man. It's unfair you have to fight a man." This was a protest for all the women in this fight and will continue to be in this fight against men, fighting them and women.
I should learn Italian because most all of this is in Italian.
Isn't it crazy, though, that it's only Italian Twitter accounts that are posting it?
Right.
No American news outlets are posting it because it doesn't go along with their freaking narrative.
Can't find it in English as of yet, but, you know.
Maybe at some point.
It'll pop soon,
At some point, you're right.
Yeah, but that woman basically is like, she spent 4 years preparing for this, and you put me up against a man. And you can just see the look. Like, obviously, the swing that comes in on her, it really looks like she's like, "No, here's the reason why we're not doing this." Because that's a different level of ferocity than anything she's going to dole out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really looked to me like this was a plan. Let him come in, hit you in the face. Or, I mean, I don't think she even let him, but, you know, saw that and said, "Cool, I was here. I was in the stage, and I am protesting."
That's why I said I think this is the most powerful thing.
Take a look at the look on her face and what's going on here. So this is when they're announcing who the winner is.
She's looking at the ground, tapping her feet.
Now watch her like.
Yeah, this is bull crap.
Yeah,
is what she's saying.
She's basically letting you know this is some crap.
And that even looks like a dude. I mean, it even look like a woman.
Yep. Oh, he's a dude. Well, there's a reason why. He's a dude. He's a dude who could not qualify for men's Olympics and decided, you know what? This is the best bet for me. I'm going to go beat up women. And that's what I see every single day.
The bold nature of how he's celebrating his victory is, I mean, next level.
Look, and look, trying to dap her up a little bit right here.
Like, come on, this is all good, right? We're all good? No,
it's like come on, lady. And she's like, "No,
she doesn't even give him the courtesy of looking.
Won't even look at him.
Yeah, and he pats her on the stomach.
Yeah,
you know, like it's just disgusting.
We're all in
this
together, lady.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
So absurd. Please call up and defend this because if you can,
well, good. That's a Angela Carini victory. And again, tomorrow at 9:00, we're going to get another one of these.
Yeah.
404-741-1230.
I hope this is what we see in every fight this person fights. that every single woman just stands up and protests and goes, is this how you want to win? We're going to show that you don't really have any skill. This is the only way you can win is we're all going to step away from fighting a man. I love it.
It's unreal, man. It really is unbelievable what is happening in the world and around us. That's why it's so important that we have this forum, this platform to talk about things that won't be talked about, just like Los can't find it on one American Twitter
I'm telling you, I'm going
outlet.
through all of my Twitter feed, which is nothing but sports and politics and comedy and stuff like that. And I'm going through, like, I'm 2 hours of scrolling.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. I have to go search it out and find it on foreign sites, foreign Twitter feeds.
Unreal. Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3. The other thing that's unreal that we learned yesterday, that 3 minutes before Donald Trump was shot at, because we know he was shot at, the FBI has now confirmed it, as if there was any doubt. They wanted the doubt out there. That's the reason Christopher Wray put the doubt out there. They wanted that to stew. They wanted that to get in the media cycle. They wanted to have their conspiracy theories. They wanted to make you doubt. And then, I guess it was day before yesterday, when the deputy director of the FBI said, nope, there's never been any doubt Trump got shot. 3 minutes before he was shot, Thomas Crooks was seen running across the top of the building in newly surfaced video. And there's been, we've talked about, there's so many reasons that they should have taken Donald Trump off stage or not ever let him go on stage. 90 minutes, we know he was prowling around, seen with a rangefinder 90 minutes before all this. Now, though, in the testimony that came down in front of the Senate, it was said, well, we couldn't see him. We couldn't see nothing. We only saw elbows, or we couldn't even see his elbows, whichever way it went.
Right.
It was the dumbest. He was creeping along the roof. And then the very next day, after they lied under oath, there is now video of this man running. I mean, you can see it. He's running across the video, and the video's shot from over Trump's shoulder, and you can see Thomas Crooks running across the top of the building. What say you, U.S. Secret Service? What say you, FBI? What you going to do now? What's the excuse? Was it too sloped?
No.
What's the next lie that you're going to feed us to try to CYA, just like that agent said?
Cheap fake.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's a cheap fake. Yeah, that's what
cheap
it said.
fake.
Dude, maybe you're right. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, look, they're in big trouble here because now it seems more than ever. My full, Mike Lee said it best to me the other day. You learn from history, and one of the things we learned is that, sometimes you know that, hey, we got to be behind this and we got to put things in place to protect someone, but we don't have to put the best team in. It's clear that this team had no reason to be there at all. These people were put in place. They have no idea what they're doing. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like they said, hey, you know what? Who's the worst agents we have? None of them can put a plan together? Cool. Throw them on protecting President Trump, because that's what it looks like to me at this point.
Well, at one point during the hearings, they talked about there was a concern that there was supposed to be personnel in that building and personnel on that roof, and that they couldn't identify whether or not that person who was on the roof that was identified was their people or not. Okay, that was one of the excuses that was brought up.
Well, they got a radio.
Pitiful excuse.
You got a radio. Is that you, Jim?
But they did it on purpose. They had to route all comms through a command center versus having an open channel. It's almost like that was intentional, too.
So do you think it's kind of a giveaway when that person probably is carrying a weapon and is running across the roof?
Jim, are you running?
Wait,
are you running?
Hold on, go backwards.
Top of the roof? Are you up there running?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Isn't that the same guy that we just saw with a rangefinder? Isn't that the same guy we just told the police is climbing up the side of the building?
If I was part of the detail and recognizing that this is going to be a situation where everyone is going to be, trying to kind of keep a steady eye on things, I'm probably not acting rash as far as I'm not running around on a roof. Okay?
I didn't see any of the other snipers running around. Is there any video of any other snipers like making laps on top of the building?
That video of that dude running on the roof to get into a position to shoot. And even then, once he's in position, it's 3 minutes before he clocks one off.
Yeah.
Did y'all see? You remember when the World Series were here and they had all the snipers on top of our building?
Yeah. The last thing I was doing was acting silly.
Well, that's a great point too. But did any of them see any of y'all see any of them taking laps up there? Or they run? Did they look like they were getting a workout in while they were waiting potentially for something to happen?
I mean, as funny as, like, I know you're being a little silly at the same time, but I mean, are you not wrong? If you have one act, let's say he gets one shot off, and that's the first time you saw the guy, you would get kind of asked about, well, how did you even let that get across if you saw him laying there, or if you looked at, but that's not even the biggest problem. You didn't mess up just once. You messed up at least 6 to 12 times with the way that this was handled. From the beginning of, well, we didn't check any of the neighbors' houses. We didn't check to make, they were zip-tied fences to make sure people got in. Oh, people saw him with a rangefinder, including police. Police were asking questions about him. Another police officer went up on the ladder, went up, saw him, retreated because, well, there is a good reason maybe for that. People said, hey, he's got a gun, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. You have so many missteps. There's no excuse for it. You're supposed to be the best, and you allowed 17, 20 mistakes an hour before something happened. That's ridiculous.
And they didn't have Wi-Fi out there either. That was a big problem too.
Or drones, like they said they were supposed to get.
Exactly. They couldn't put the drones up because they didn't have good Wi-Fi. There was no connectivity. There's just now. It was funny that Thomas Crooks was able to do it. He didn't seem to have a problem with the poor Wi-Fi.
There's 15 houses around it, number one, okay, that all probably have Wi-Fi. Now, even if that's not true, we run a radio show, no problem whatsoever, with a Wi-Fi unit that we get from Verizon. Okay? So don't give me an excuse you didn't have enough Wi-Fi, number one. Number two,
dumb.
Save America.
Slope roof, no Wi-Fi.
Save America, who does these events. I've been there. Do you know how many of us run what we call the live view, which uses our own modems most of the time, but at the same, so that we're not on their Wi-Fi, dragging their Wi-Fi, because they use it for the video boards, they use it for everything, including putting up, messages, news, all of that. There's plenty of Wi-Fi there. That's such a BS lame excuse.
No other excuse can be accepted except we completely failed. And now the next question is, did you fail intentionally? Because I feel like they did. I feel like they knew they were sending the JV team. They knew eventually all of this was going to catch up, and whatever happens, happens.
When's the next video going to drop of more ineptitude or compliance?
Soon. Let's us hope, anyway. Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. When we come back, James O'Keefe got a DNC staffer to admit what we all know is true about Kamala. Next on Extra 106.3, after we're done, Beck, then Clay and Buck, biggest show in all of conservative media, and then the local afternoon show with the Kimmer, Pete and Flounder. 3 until 6, best way to listen on the Extra 106.3 app.
With so many questions about what happens next, trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the latest news and the voices you need during such an uncertain time in America.
Late last week, I said that Joe Biden would be gone by Sunday night. Usually, I'm so dead wrong with these spur-of-the-moment opinions, but this one, I just got lucky. It's bye-bye Biden.
Proud to be Atlanta's conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Diamonds Direct Atlanta is now open. The nation's fastest growing jewelry store now has a location right here in Buckhead. Shopping for the perfect ring to pop the question? Or maybe an everyday diamond tennis bracelet? The experts at Diamonds Direct are sure to have exactly what you're looking for, no matter the occasion. With the lowest direct importer pricing, you can expect the best selection of certified diamonds at unmatched prices, all within a luxury showroom atmosphere that makes you feel right at home. Come see what other jewelers are trying to replicate. Diamonds Direct's unbeatable after-the-sale guarantees and warranties are the best you can find. Free cleanings, sizing, polishing, accent diamond replacement for the lifetime of your purchase. If that's not enough, they also offer a 110% upgrade policy for you to use as often as you'd like on your diamond engagement ring, pendant, or studs. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, come see how Diamonds Direct is reinvigorating the jewelry industry at their brand new Buckhead showroom. When you want to have complete confidence in your jewelry buying experience, shop with the experts at Diamonds Direct. Now open on the corner of Maple Drive Northeast and Peachtree.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Not all policies will qualify. Not available in all states.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the podcast park. See you around, Atlanta.
Securing America.
The security of Americans in the Middle East remains a major concern. On Wednesday, the State Department raised its travel advisory concerning Lebanon to its highest level, a level 4, due to the increasing tensions between Israel and Hezbollah. And the State Department advised Americans not to travel there. Department spokesman Vendon Patel.
We take the safety of all our personnel, not just State Department personnel, but any personnel, American personnel, incredibly seriously.
Americans who are near the southern Lebanese border with Syria or in local refugee camps are advised to leave. And the warning notes that U.S. Embassy personnel may not always be able to travel to assist in times of need.
We are always assessing circumstances on the ground. We are assessing what risk levels are, what threat levels are, and appropriately we will make adjustments on those as we need to.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. For dogs, a unique experience popping up at more animal shelters across the country, letting volunteers take pups out on field trips. The outings are helping to bolster their chances of being adopted. At St. Hubert's Animal Welfare Center in New Jersey, staff say these outings offer dogs a critical chance to get exposure to the outside world. Volunteers fill out mini report cards after each excursion, giving insight into things like how the pups performed on car rides and their behavior around other dogs and with children. According to data from the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, roughly 3.1 million dogs enter U.S. animal shelters every year. Animal welfare experts also point to data showing how breaks from shelter life help to reduce a dog's stress levels, while also providing emotional wellness to volunteers. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Start your mornings the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3.
August 1st, some things to think about for this month. On the 16th, it's National Rum Day. Yes, I will. Thank you very much. And there's nothing like a little rum and Coke. Oh, God, I love it. Probably love it too much. The 12th is Vinyl Day, National Record Day.
Let's go.
I, you know what? I have a bunch of that stuff, and I never do anything with it. And I always feel like I need to, but I still have a vinyl from 1994, Pearl Jam's Vitology vinyl that I bought.
Yep.
And
where do you keep it? Like in a rack?
No, I just
see it.
No, not really. It's just kind of stacked. It's just stacked.
Keep mine in a plastic tub.
There you go. Like it's sitting there with Kenny Rogers, the Gambler.
Yeah.
Which is an original that I think was passed down from my.
See, like all the vinyl is like on a shelf or like a shelf made for them.
That's what you should do.
Right.
I just am a knucklehead and don't do it.
But you don't listen to them really anymore. You know, you just kind of look at them. But it's kind of like art to me. You know, you have a picture hanging on the wall. It's not like you actually do anything with it. You look at it, and that's kind of what vinyls become. Like, hey, look at all the cool stuff I do have.
So later this month, the new movie, The Crow, is coming out. They're doing a reboot of The Crow.
They did like 3 of those.
Yes.
Are you talking about the original franchise?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
The first one was great. The second one was okay. And then the third one was just garbage.
I loved the first one, man.
I loved the premise of the first one. I thought it was a cool movie.
So cool. Brandon Lee, remember they had to... It was the first movie I ever remember using CGI because they had to finish the movie. Brandon Lee was killed.
Right, he was killed.
And so Little League World Series starts on the 14th. I don't think I realized that the Little League World Series was a fall thing. Did y'all? I thought it was in the middle of the summer.
I kind of did too.
But turns out.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Preseason NFL starts tonight. What you got? The Hall of Fame game?
Hall of Fame game.
Yeah. College football starts.
No Caleb Williams, it looks like, either.
Okay.
So the number 1 overall pick will not be participating.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. I mean, college football kicks off on the 24th. And then I wanted to bring this up because I knew you would be super excited about it, Los. Adult Swim, 15th season of Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Put it in my veins.
Oh, no, I don't. I'm wrong. It premieres on the 15th. It's not the 15th season.
It's like the 8th season.
Yeah, 8th season. It premieres on the 15th. I got it all back.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that one.
I turned myself into a pickle.
I'm telling you, the last season, and I talk about this with our imaging director, Rob Jenners. You know, dude's a audio genius.
Yeah, he is.
Rob and I, when they cut, because they changed some people up, they changed some of the writers and everything else, because the initial creator has kind of taken a little bit of a step back. And you wondered, okay, is it going to lose a step? Man, last season was genius.
So they actually picked up a step.
Like they had an episode, and this is going to sound very dark to you, but it was a moral episode.
Okay.
It was on a particular planet. When people commit suicide, their insides turn into the best lasagna that you could ever have tried.
That's not gross at all.
Exactly. So you're like, well, what? But it became this industry. When people found out about this, they're like, you need to get rid of yourself. We got to sell this lasagna. But again, like there's a lot of dark humor. But that's the idea. It's really dark humor, but it'll ask moral questions.
Yeah.
And again, we talk about how the only time we have any truth discussion is in comedy.
No, it's exactly right. It's why comedy is so important. And that's why people like Dave Chappelle and even Bill Maher are important. Though I disagree with him 3/4 of the time.
Let's have the discussion.
Let's have the discussion. And I think that at least he's gotten to the point where he's open to the discussion too, and I like that.
By the way, before you jump into the O'Keefe audio, which I love, by the way.
Yeah.
So I went down the hall and I said, hey, did y'all see what happened in the lady fight? So our sports brethren had no idea. You know why? Because it's been buried.
No, yeah, of course.
They had no idea. They're like, what? I go, you can't find it unless you go search by like the boxers' names.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Isn't that something? Because, I mean, let's be honest. 680 The Fan's been there for 30 plus years. They're on top of sports. Except for this one, because it's been buried so deeply. But leave it to front office Los to dig it up, even if it's in Italian.
Well, we told everybody. We're like 6:20, 6:30 this morning, 9:30 tomorrow is the other one with the Taiwanese fighter.
The other man. Who wants to beat up on a woman. I mean, we got to call it for what it is, and that's exactly what this is. A man entered a women's competition where women have trained their entire lives to get to a position where they might be able to represent their country on a Olympic stage or an Olympic, mat, if you want, or ring. And it was all taken away because they've allowed a man to come in and they cater to the minority in this, when they should be. If you want to talk about democracy, most of those women don't want to fight, and that's what is starting to come out, because this is going to hit and it's going to continue to break as more people hear about this. But the fact of the matter is that her corner, now we're seeing that said they didn't want her going in and fighting this man. They were afraid of this man and how dangerous he was because of the testosterone levels, and they didn't want. And she was like, no, I'm going to honor my grandfather and go in there and fight, and then made the protest at that moment.
Which I'm telling you, I think is the smartest thing she could have done. She has just put a spotlight on what they're trying to bury.
So you can't see the entirety of the fight as of right now. No. You can only see like about a 5 to 7 second snippet. Early in the fight, according to the reports, the initial punch that she took nearly took her chin strap off.
Yeah.
And then she took one to the nose where she was then messing with her nose. Now, just to tell you how big this is, so our friend Riley Gaines, friend of the show, I'm like, when you've been on the show, you're a friend of the show.
Absolutely, always a friend.
She just tweeted this stuff out about 5 minutes ago. That's how far ahead you are when we were talking about this, basically at the end of last hour.
And then what was it, Rhino, that you said that she said to the corner? Because you can see her in the video.
Yeah.
This is not fair.
She said in Italian, it's not right or it's not fair. Yeah. So, and she said it to the corner, and they knew that already because they had already said, hey, we don't really want you to go in there and fight this. It's not, and they knew it's not fair.
Now the rest of the rest of our
the rest of the world's catching up.
Is starting to catch up now. They're all waking up to this now in the 7 o'clock hour and starting to tweet about it.
Morning Extra and Extra 1063. We will keep tabs on it as well because it is so absurd It's beyond absurd, is what it is.
And our good listener, Stephanie, she's all over it. I mean, she's putting out comments on Twitter that just make sense. And as a woman, that's the kind of perspective you want to see. And that's why we need white women to stand up for women. You talk about women's rights, yet they don't even have the right to work their entire life to get merit to be able to be in the Olympics. You take all that merit away for this kind of identity politics to allow a man to beat her up. I think anybody who supports this is disgusting. You can support trans and their life and wanting to be trans without saying, but we need to go this step where they could be in locker rooms where they can beat up women. It's disgusting, man.
So this is from, and thank you to Stephanie for sending this along. I'm just now seeing some of this stuff. So this is Sean Engel, who writes for The Guardian. He's over there covering, sports for the Olympics, and he ended up being there for the fight. And he wrote about, as far as the coach, basically her trainer, her coach, basically said, quote, "I don't know if her nose is broken. I have to speak with the girl, but many people in Italy tried to call and tell her, don't go, please. It's a man. It's dangerous for you."
Blood on her shorts, tears, as she explained. She's never been hit so hard before. Dude, if that is okay with you, you need to check where you are in life if you think that's okay. It's unbelievable, dude. Really unbelievable.
At least it's now played. Now, fortunately, if we're talking about a broken nose or anything along those lines, okay, fine. This isn't serious damage to somebody. Because it's good.
Tough, man.
The only thing that's probably going to end this charade is like very serious brain injury, death, etc.
But why do we have to get to that point to get back to logic, to get back to common sense?
Because they only go with extremes.
I know.
They're only moved by extremes.
Yeah, I know you're right. It's just
that's what's so hard. We're looking around for the sacrificial lamb in this thing. And
who's raising their hand to be that?
And initially it was just, hey, here's a man in a pool swimming against women, and we're like, there's no harm in that. And we've actually gotten to the point where it's combat sports, not in someone's backyard, not on pay-per-view, not in some backwoods area. It's in the Olympics, man.
That is liberal politics right there. If you want to know what liberalism is, you're getting introduced to it this morning here on Extra 106.3. Kamala Harris, we all know she's unpopular. We all know she's unliked and unlikable. Very similar to Hillary Clinton. And James O'Keefe, formerly of Project Veritas, now has O'Keefe Media. He got a DNC staffer to admit what we all know on Kamala Harris.
I like Kamala Harris, but I don't think she'd win this year.
Meet Joyce DeSears, he, him, the compliance manager to the DNC.
What's your official title?
Compliance manager. My specific job, like the end-all be-all of my job, is reporting to the government how much the DNC raised and where it spent its money.
Saying that she doesn't have any accomplishments to speak of.
She's weirdly unpopular. She doesn't have any accomplishments to speak of because she's vice president.
Yeah. And did you notice that Joyce identifies as he, him, going right back to the boxing thing and how they tie together? This is liberal politics. But at least even the Democrats know what we all know about Kamala Harris, is that she is unlikable. And she does fake a Southern accent when she's in Atlanta. Sometimes she identifies as Indian. Sometimes she identifies as black. Which, whatever, you identify as anything you want. I think we've all said that. Whatever you want to do with yourself, as long as it doesn't impact anybody else, you do it. But in the case of the boxing and in the case of Kamala Harris, her policies will impact every one of us. Mm-hmm. The policies moving forward will put America in dire straits. Just like we are now. It's just going to continue down the road if she were to be elected. And I'm afraid, fellas, that she's got more than a coin's flip chance of winning.
Yeah, look, I don't know if she really has a chance at all. But, I mean, the fever right now is that, yeah, she's got a lot. Because they're playing those identity politics and people are buying into it. And they're being divided by the Democrats once again.
I don't know when we're going to get the full story on all this stuff. I think it's typically year or two down the road where we find out about how Axios got the information, how MSNBC got the information, how they threatened Joe Biden. What I do know is that somewhere along the lines, it wasn't supposed to be Kamala Harris. And somehow she was able to seize this power. She was able to jump it. And I think as Tug and I were joking around during the break, when Joe Biden endorsed her, it was almost Joe Biden's like, okay, fine, if you're going to use the 25th on me, then F you, look what I'm going to do. And so now you just have this woman who, until 2 weeks ago, was wildly unpopular, was a total loser, was the biggest joke of a vice president since Dan Quayle. And now she's been rebranded because the media's like, oh my God, we have to rebrand this woman. Let's see what we can do.
Ain't nobody cheering harder against Kamala Harris than Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is the one that's...
Jill hates her.
If anybody's leaking information to the press, it's probably
and the
him.
Obama... Think about that. You've actually got a situation where the Clintons, the Obamas, and the Bidens are all like, she can't win, but hey, media, do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, and the media is doing a great job for them, and that's what they continue to do. So they should all be, hey, you know what? The media has been here for us for so long, all the way back to 2015, and creating these narratives. So you know what? They've done a good job. We're now going to endorse her because they have created this fever. They did such a great job making it look like Kamala Harris was the one who filled an arena, when in reality we know that music stars did. These are the kind of things that we're going to see. That's why yesterday's talk at the black journalists, okay, in front of them, we know who those black journalists are going to write to. We know they're not putting in the journalistic portions of that actual program. They're going to put in how they felt, because it's about them. It's not about actual news. They want to make the story about them. They've got to be a part of the story. So everyone's going to be, let me tell you what I saw while I was there. This man is blah, 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 divisive, blah, blah. They are going to protect in every single way. They'll never go against their installed candidates.
Yeah, right. The ones that they've been told, this is who we're going to back, this is who we're going to be behind, and this is the story you'll use. When we need you to say weird, we're going to send out the email, and everybody will use weird. It'll be one big echo chamber, one trumpet for the DNC.
I do have a question.
Yeah, man.
Being that we do have the first female vice president who's running for president, the second female who's run for president in recent years, right behind Hillary Clinton. Where are the feminists after a woman gets her head, pretty much punched at?
They're not going to say a word about this. It does not match their politics.
I mean, Kamala, hear me roar. Where are the rest of the feminists? Now that we have this going on at the Olympics, where a woman...
Not going to say a word.
Huh.
Women for women's sports?
It's so strange.
And Riley Gaines, the only one that's speaking out, and Sage Steele, they are treated like they're lepers.
Yeah. And we're going to have to redefine feminism at certain points because obviously
I think it defines itself. It's pretty clear how it's
defined.
but
it's been taken over largely by the communists. It's used basically as a tool in order to get the vote out and to claim like, oh, everyone wants to rape me and my body, my whatever. If you're not looking to protect regular women from dudes, like at its very heart, protecting women from dudes, then don't tell me about your feminism.
Right.
Oh, but they're going to. And they're just going to pretend what happened in Paris isn't happening. This no big deal. Nothing to see here. That's why it's been buried all morning long. Let's get to headlines. We'll continue this conversation. So much to talk about for the rest of the day. 7 o'clock hour is brought to you by Van Sant Law. If you're in an accident, make the right call. VanSantLaw.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, August 1st. Authorities have issued a Levi's call for 2-month-old Rhea Clark after she was kidnapped from a Sandy Springs hotel earlier yesterday morning. Police are looking for the baby Rhea's non-custodial father, Rainey Bernard Clark, who is also accused of shooting a relative in September. Details surrounding the abduction have not been released, and investigators say baby Rhea is in extreme danger. A second ex parte or secret meeting between Fulton County Superior Court Judge Ural Glanville and state prosecutors has defense lawyers in the YSL RICO gang trial calling for an immediate dismissal of the indictments against their clients. According to attorney Doug Weinstein, Judge Glanville met with prosecutors Adrian Love and Simone Hilton and gossip like Yentas over 13 pages of of transcripts about defense attorneys Max Shart, John Melnick, and Brian Steele during a June 7th secret meeting right before the June 10th secret meeting that spurred the recusal of Judge Glanville. And in sports, the Braves have won 4 of their last 5 games after Matt Olson and Travis d'Arnaud hit back-to-back homers twice in the game. The Braves went on to win 6-2 over the Milwaukee Brewers, giving them the series win. The Braves back in action at Truist Park tonight to take on the Miami Marlins, who are currently on a 4-game losing streak. Charlie Morton will be on the mound for the Braves. First pitch tonight scheduled for 7:20. You can catch all the action on our sister station, 680 The Fan.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on Extra 106.3. What real voters in Atlanta thought about Kamala's big, lauded campaign stop? Next on The Morning Extra.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
I want to meet the people that run Southern Exteriors. I want you to understand why when I say they shake your hand, look you in the eye, and they deliver what they say they'll deliver, I want you to meet the people that will deliver those services. The ones that'll be the on-site foreman, the people that will be working on the exterior of your home. Doesn't matter what you need, roofing, siding, gutters, millwork, porches, windows and doors, exterior remodeling handled by a company that's been at it over 2 decades, 200,000 projects. They are experts in the field. I want you to meet them. You can do that. Southern Exteriors will be at the Build Expo today at Cobb Galleria, Halls C and D. Go by and visit them. Booth 440. Learn more about those top quality services that I'm always telling you about, and you can see their latest project. And they can't wait to connect with you to discuss how they can help bring your next project to life. Whatever you need done at the house. If you've been seeing the wet spots in the ceiling because we had all the rain lately, and I think some of that's gone out, but it's been raining for like 3 weeks. At least it feels that way. You can get their expert opinion. Do I need to patch that? Can I fix it? Or is it too late? Is there mold that I'm going to deal with? They can tell you all of that. You can meet them today at Cobb Galleria. The number, 8779-SOUTHERN, southernexteriors.co. It's southernexteriors.co.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Get ready for Real Talk on the Janelle King Show, where we tackle kitchen table topics that are banned from family gatherings, but crucial for a strong republic. Tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday for an encore episode at 9 a.m. And if you can catch us live, great. But if not, no worries. New podcasts drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park right here on Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcast. Join us for insightful conversations that matter.
Media Minute with Howard Kurtz.
It was not a great day for the National Association of Black Journalists, which had a revolt over yesterday's invitation to Donald Trump. The first question from ABC's Rachel Scott was more of an indictment. You've told former congresswomen of color to go back where they came from. You've used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've called a black journalist stupid and racist, calling about their questions. Why should blacks support you? Trump said he'd never been treated so rudely, that this was disgraceful. But later, Trump said that he didn't realize that Kamala Harris was black. She always seemed to identify as Asian, and suddenly she made a turn and became a black person. not Donald Trump's finest hour, questioning the racial identity of his opponent in the contest. But I'm not buying that he went there to appeal to his MAGA base. He hoped to score some points with the black community. With your Media Minute, Howie Kurtz, Fox News.
The Morning Extra. Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson. The biggest lineup of conservative voices in the South are on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Doug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. What did real voters in Atlanta think of Kamala Harris's lauded gathering here in town? I want you to hear from a woman who says, I think it's utterly embarrassing. Oh, Joe, going to get to it.
So embarrassing.
On the morning.
Sorry. It was quick.
I was embarrassed.
That's right. And she was.
Campaign meeting today was as cringe as seeing Juvenile do vax that thing up. It was as cringe as watching Mary J. Blige sing about crispy chickens on the Burger King commercial. It was cringe. And I don't give a damn how y'all feel about it. That shit was embarrassing as hell. I'm not mad at Megan because Megan was just getting a check. But when did popping your become something for women's rights? Politics. Gucci crumbs for Kamala.
Oh my! Now she's got
hoes for Harris.
Oh,
hoes for Harris.
Yo, I'm laughing to keep from crying because this is some embarrassing y'all. Why are y'all voting for this man? Why are y'all standing for this? Come on now, sisters. What are y'all doing? And you know what's crazy? It's like when I go in people's lives and we ask people why they're supporting her, they never have a answer. It's always identity politics.
This is the black woman.
Yeah. Well, she's 100% right. It is identity politics. And let's go back. Let's go back when people were so offended that they wore pink hats because Donald Trump was talking to a man and having locker room talk about and said a word that started with P. We all know what it is. And then I find it funny that they talk about how Donald Trump comes out to this song and it's celebrating America and being in a place where at least he knows he's free. Then Kamala Harris comes up on stage and uses Megan Thee Stallion, which was brilliant in my opinion, because that's what you're running on is identity politics and that this is what you know, and we're popular and look how much I can fill this arena. So it was smart to bring Megan Thee Stallion in. But the song that Kamala Harris comes up to is about a fat P word. So now you're not offended by it. But she was, and she's smart about that because that's not what we need to be talking about. It's ridiculous that we have to have celebrities come in and say, this is the way you're supposed to vote. We should be talking about policy. And that's why I think it's funny that she's laughing saying, politics, where have we gone? Because we don't talk about policy. Everything's about identity.
Even more than that, Lowe's. She said, I laugh about it because it keeps me from crying about it because it's so deeply embarrassing.
To me, I think the sooner that we focus on Kamala Harris, and let's start with the fact that she wants to make everything about identity politics. We'll then start with her identity. Who is she? And then that gets us quicker to the question of what does she stand for? And those are the two things that are going to end up ruining her.
Yeah.
And so right now, the media, as much as they're gloating, they're not focusing on her. That's the thing. We're trying to get the focus going.
Yeah, what would they focus on? There's nothing to focus on.
So as much as everyone's like, maybe it was a misstep that Donald Trump said this and this about her. It's like, no, now we watch the media circle the wagons and go, look who she is. She's authentically black. She's this. And then they're going to start going, and she also happens to want to take your guns, and she also wants to increase your taxes, and but that's
never
what you
gonna
have
say
to.
that.
But because right now all the deflector shields are on her right now. Until we start focusing in on her, and sometimes it takes a controversial moment to have that happen. We are never going to get to the policy end, which is going to end her.
Boom, and that's exactly what needs to be done at this point, and that's where you need to let them play the identity politics game, because the job of a president is what? To protect every person in this country. When you look at what Kamala Harris and her ad is and what her policies are, they don't affect most of Americans, regardless of what side you're on. Whether you consider yourself a Republican or Democrat, student debt relief, is a small percentage of people. Trans rights, whether you like it or not, small percentage of people. It has nothing to do with the economy, has nothing to do with the border, has nothing to do with taking taxpayer money, has nothing to do with spending our money on wars and funding wars across the country. We need to be talking about energy independence. We need to be talking about the border. We need to be talking about how to fix the economy. Let them run on the divisiveness.
But there's nothing going to steer the media to the failures of Kamala Harris or the lack of accomplishments for Kamala Harris. Donald Trump can talk about it, but none of the networks are going to pick up on it. They're going to continue to stay on the rebranding message that you've talked about for a while, though.
No, and this is where Republicans, oftentimes the establishment, the Howie Kurtzes of the world, when you hear those and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that. This is where they are the nursery rhyme Republicans. They're the little weenies. When I talk about the new right will point stuff out and then tell you about it. Mm-hmm. And so Howard Kurtz is busy going like, I can't believe Donald Trump brought that up with her. No.
Yeah.
It's the only way you then eventually get to policy is by let's talk about her to start with and let's go from there. Honestly, big picture, the fact that, and this is what's going to bother the Howie Kurtzes and everybody else in the world, you can say whatever you want to about Kamala Harris. The bigger win yesterday was Donald Trump basically saying, yeah, I'm not taxing your Social Security anymore.
Yep. Right. But that's going to get no press.
But that doesn't get any play.
No press.
That doesn't get any play.
He said several good things at that event.
The minute he talked about how, hey, listen, I support Bitcoin over the weekend, you had a lot of investors go, hell yeah.
Yep.
And yet the media won't talk about these things. They're going to focus on the simplest and easily most digestible thing, which is he talked about Kamala's race.
And influencing. Because that's the goal, Rhino.
Low-hanging fruit, easy to go after, and do that. And, it's smart because it does create questions. Again, that entire audience is going to write articles to that group. Donald Trump won't get anything that he actually said that would help the majority of Americans, not Black Americans, not Asian Americans, not Indian Americans, no matter what it is, his policies help all America, and that's the message that needs to get across. Now, I think most people have already made up their mind. There are people in the middle who are still probably maybe making up their mind. I still think that they've made up their mind. Those are the ones who are going to look for the comments and say, hold on, what is the policy? Smart people will look at policy and ignore the identity politics. We'll ignore these games of mudslinging back and forth and weird. I mean, come on. That's what they're running on. These guys are weird. Don't vote for them.
But you're assuming that
your entire party talks and embraces weirdness. Make Portland weird again. Make Austin weird again. Make New York weird again.
But we're banking on the people who have not made up their mind to be logical, to be people that actually are engaged in politics and that realize 96% of the media is going to feed them BS. We're relying on that to get the message out, and that's not going to work.
Okay, but you know what? Here's where, I'm going to tell you that I think people who haven't made up their mind are obviously looking to find out why they need to vote for that person. If you've made up your mind, you're following ABC, NBC, MSNBC, or you're following Fox News or another conservative outlet and listening to Xtra 106.3. You've already made up your mind of which way you're going. If you haven't made up your mind, you're either not going to vote or you're still researching what policies you think will help you forward. That's what
Or you're living your life worrying about paying for your kids.
Or you don't care about any of it.
Or you could care, but right now you're getting kids going back to school. I just think there's so many distractions.
Sure.
And when the media and everything filters through a Democrat filter to every website, every social media platform, every news outlet, then you're bombarded with it. I just see people influenced by this so much. Even people who don't buy into it are still influenced by it.
But where are they at? Are they on? Where's the number one? What's the number one news source right now?
Probably Fox, I would imagine, right?
No, I'm saying like in general.
X.
But, so what do you think the message on X is speaking to those people? Do you think it's all liberal garbage, or are they seeing both sides?
I think you do see both sides there. But at the same time, I mean, in the grand total of everybody in the world, that's a very small number that's on X.
Yeah, well.
And those people are engaged.
But it is the engaged people.
It is. And I don't know that everybody that is undecided is engaged. I could be wrong. I just don't think they are.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They either don't care and won't show up at all, or they're engaged to the point where they're saying, I'm going to wait till they actually talk about policy before I even make a decision.
Let them go buy groceries. They'll make their decision.
That's it.
I hope.
Let it happen that way.
I hope that's right.
Naturally.
I've just not seen it happen quite yet. So Morning Xtra on Xtra 106.3 when we come back. Trump versus the hostile reporter yesterday in Chicago. How'd he do? Next on Xtra 106.3.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
Why I Hate Cats by Neil Bortz, the Talkmaster. It's a long story, so here's the bullet points. White Persian cat suddenly starts walking around the house with black paws. Why? Next day, cat is standing in the fireplace, paws getting filthy with ashes. There's noise in the chimney. I go pull the handle for the damper. A bird, along with 10 pounds of ashes, comes roaring out of the chimney all over the cat. The bird starts flying around the room. The cat starts chasing the bird. There are ashes everywhere. Cat captures bird. Your hero takes the bird from the cat and throws it outside. Now we have a living room and living room furniture covered with ashes from the cat and bird chase. I go to the grocery store. I get a rug cleaner. I spend the better part of a couple of hours shampooing the rug and the furniture. Got it nice and clean, but it's wet. Did I mention we had a party scheduled for that night? So I return the shampoo machine. Now I'm faced with having to try to dry out the carpeting and the furniture before our friends arrive. Here's an idea. I'll just turn on our 800 horsepower attic fan. It'll draw air through the house and dry out everything. The Talkmaster runs upstairs, flips the switch. The ceiling fan turns on. The wife starts screaming from downstairs. What could be wrong? I'll tell you what, there's not one window open anywhere in our condo. The ceiling fan can only draw air from one place, the chimney. Out comes a billowing cloud of black ash that settles all over the wet carpeting, the wet couch, the wet chairs, everything. We get on the phone, we cancel the party, buy new furniture, and just live with the carpeting. I hate cats, and not one of you blames me. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on Xtra 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. The Safe House crew hopes everyone is enjoying their vacation this summer. We know the criminals are watching and waiting for you to leave so they can bust in and steal your stuff. But hey, there is a solution. Come purchase a quality safe from Atlanta Safe House. And with summer rebates and specials, you can save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a quality safe. And remember, don't let an illegal or crackhead deliver or move your safe. They could very well know your combination. So drop by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
During the craziest election season we've ever experienced, you need a voice you can trust. Not headlines, not former shock jocks, but veterans, conservative leaders, and Atlanta talk radio legends.
This is the ballgame. This is for all the marble. This is like,
this
for the country. This is 8 years of turmoil.
Count on the conservative voice of Atlanta to bring you the biggest names in politics as this wild election season changes by the day. This is Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
They're disgusted and disappointed. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what the president of the New York City Firefighters Association says about the government's plea deal at Guantanamo with 3 of the 5 9/11 terror suspects to let them avoid the death penalty. Many victims' families also object.
Whether they live or die, I don't really give crap, right? Like, that's for God to judge.
But Brett Eagleson, whose father was killed in the 2001 attacks, also tells Fox.
Plea deals, as far as I'm concerned, are a way for the United States government to subvert the truth. We need a trial, And if they know anything about what Saudi Arabia did, we need to hear it from them.
One of the three in the plea deal is the 9/11 mastermind, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Israel says it's killed the mastermind of the October 7th terror attacks. Confirming this morning an airstrike July 13th killed Mohammed Deif, the commander of Hamas's military wing in Gaza. As Reuters reports, Iran's meeting with proxy militant group leaders plotting revenge for yesterday's missile strike in Iran that killed Hamas's political leader.
A mournful call and response on the streets of Tehran. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh's body is taken through Iran's capital ahead of a public funeral. Palestinian flags were waved among the crowd as Iran's supreme leader prayed over Haniyeh's body.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. Former President Trump will be interviewed today by the FBI as it continues to investigate the assassination attempt after the former president's contentious interview at a black journalists convention.
I've done so much for the black population of this country.
Then the former president got controversial when asked about his opponent, Vice President Harris, and he claimed she had for years touted her Indian heritage.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black. And
the vice president reacted in Houston.
It was the same old show. The divisiveness and the disrespect.
America's listening to Fox News.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm going to let you in on a wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile want you to believe you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges you for data you need. For just $25 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data, plus mobile hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk to switch easily. And save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
Get the Extra 106.3 app.
Yeah, I got your app. I live out here 30 miles west of Augusta. I'm so glad Conservative Talk is back on the air.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. Glad that you're listening wherever or however you're listening. We appreciate it. App, FM, AM, streaming extra1063.com. Wherever you listen is great. We appreciate it, like I said. And the Extra 106.3 YouTube channel as well. Good morning to y'all. Wanted to share something with you that is near and dear, I think, to most everybody around here's heart. The Lutzy Foundation. Lutzy 43 is commemorating the passing of Auburn University and Lassiter High School football star Philip Lutzenkirchen, who passed away in 2014 tragically in a car accident. You can run in the 10th annual Lutzy 43 road race. It's this Saturday. Sign up at Lutzy Field at Lassiter High School starting at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. Or you can go to Lutzy, Lutzie, Lutzy43.org for more information. It is going to be a great event. It's a great organization. If you don't know anything about it, please familiarize yourself with it. If you're looking for just a great way to get out, get some exercise, this is a good event. But even more than that, the messages that they promote are incredible. It is all about being safe. If you're drinking, don't drive. If you're distracted in the car, put the phone down. It's as simple as messages like those, but they do it in clever and creative and unique ways. They're busy on social media. Lutzy Foundation does good work. I've been so honored to meet Philip's dad multiple times. The first time with Hudson Mason, who was Philip Lutzenkirchen's best bud. They were high school best friends. Hudson used to tell me about a great story when he was at Georgia and Philip was at Auburn. They could see each other across the field, right? They're playing against each other in this heated rivalry.
South's oldest rivalry.
That's exactly right. Deep South's oldest rivalry. And they, are giving each other grief, hand signals and whatever, just picking at each other from each side of the field, obviously. Lutzy, Philip Lutzenkirchen on the Auburn side, and our own Hudson Mason is on the Georgia side. But just a wonderful relationship, and I bet Hudson will be out there And I bring him up because Hudson's dear to all of us here at Extra 106.3, a former coworker now at Chick-fil-A. But I know he'll be out supporting this on Saturday if he can possibly be there because the family is so close and have been for so many years.
Yeah, a lot of good people.
Indeed.
Good people.
So get yourself some exercise and support a great organization, 10th annual 5K road race. And if you want to learn more, again, www.lutzie43.org.
May I keep it on the college football front for a moment?
Yes, of course.
So I just want to let everyone know that I scored major points with our interns. All right. Like right now, there's a bunch of 20, 21, 22-year-old dudes that are talking about me all around these halls.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Because I went down the hall and let them know that I was letting our former intern, like, is he ever our former intern, Andrew?
No, he's part of the family. Oh, my gosh.
They moved him down the hall so that he could
And today's his last day ever.
Right. And then
he's
going back to school.
To fight for college up in North Carolina.
So I went down and I let him know, like, hey, year 3, Kennesaw State lost in the national championship game to Nebraska.
Oh.
And not by a little bit. It was 47-17. Like, they killed me.
Okay.
All right, they just killed me. But I'd beat Miami, I beat Michigan to get there. And so we're doing our NCAA college football discussion. And one of the guys goes, oh, what year are you? I go, oh, year 3 over at Kennesaw State. And he kind of looked at me. I go, and I'm playing on Heisman. He goes, really? I was like,
oh my.
I was like, yeah.
What to strive for.
So yes, credit. I get some credit.
cred.
The 20-year-olds around here like that old dude can play some ball in video games.
Dude, there's no way for me to get street cred. I don't watch the right movies. I don't watch the right TV shows. I don't play the right video games. I sound like a hillbilly. There's nothing. There's no winning for me. I can't. There's no way to match that.
You turned me on to the J.D. Vance movie.
Oh, yeah, Hillbilly Elegy, yes.
Yeah, I didn't know about that movie. I didn't know about the book. You guys were way ahead on that. Y'all told me. And so when y'all tell me stuff like documentaries or like, understand, I'm not like Tug. Like Rhino can make a suggestion and I'm like on it.
Yep.
Tug, you can make a suggestion and I'm on it. When we suggest stuff to you, you get around to it.
Yes, that's right. It's a fair point. And a lot of times I'll write it down and throw away the note, right? Before the end of the show or at the end of the show and completely forget about it.
Or you read 2 chapters of the book and hold it for 3 years.
Right.
Not quite 3 years.
No.
Probably
pretty close.
More like 8 months.
Like if Rhino says, hey, I saw this cool documentary, I flat out will tell him, I will watch this in the next 48 hours. Like I will find a way to get this in.
I don't know how y'all have time to do that. I just don't.
I just try and...
My day is so scheduled, it's ridiculous.
You made the point yesterday, so this is not insulting. You say you have a trouble multitasking.
I do. Oh my God, I'm like a squirrel.
I'm constantly trying to do something while doing something.
Yeah.
Like that's always the goal is to do this while listening to this, while watching this, and that's how I try and fit in. Because I'm the same way.
I used to be able to do that, and I don't know what happened. The wheels fell off the freaking bus because I cannot, man.
So what do you like? Let's say you leave here. What do you do next?
I usually leave here at
Besides cocaine, we know that.
If I have it available.
That's in the bathroom most of the time before he leaves.
Gets that snoot as he gets in the car.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand right here and drive home.
Yeah, just a little nip. No, so I leave here 12:30, 1:30, somewhere depending on what time, and then go home, do whatever that needs to be done for the day. And there's a myriad. We all have.
It's always honey-do's.
Oh my gosh, this needs to be done.
So that time, can you not just put in some headphones in your phone and listen to one of the podcasts that Carlos has mentioned to us?
Yes, and I do.
There you go.
And I do. But let me tell you, if I see a billboard that takes
that's it.
my attention off of it,
that's the end of it.
Like I will go 2 or 3 minutes before I realize that I've missed everything, and then have to back it up.
Dog, sir. You're like squirrel.
Yes, dude, it's so true, and it's awful to
call
be
that number.
Yes, or don't.
No, I don't have a gambling problem. I just saw your billboard, and I'm all distracted. What was I just doing?
My mama might have one, and I wanted her to know. I'm telling you, dude, it's so bad. Yeah, I don't, and it's not. It's something that's just happened in the last probably 5, 6, 7 years where my train of thought is one direction, and
Joe
that's
just
it.
totally nailed it. He's like, oh, Tug is the dog from Up. That's the thing. It's like, okay, good. Like Joe was like, he won't get that. Though.
No,
I'm like, good. I'm glad.
His name's Doug.
Yeah. Squirrel.
Mary had the little thing that helped him talk. Yes, I love Doug.
It's hilarious. It's a great movie.
Absolutely.
It's shiny. What is it? It's shiny.
My favorite dog and my favorite other animal, my spirit animal, is a sloth because they move slowly, and I have to move slowly. And things get away from me so quickly, and I'll look up, and 2 hours will be gone, And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's this show.
Yes, it is. It is a lot of
thing,
times.
too.
Yes, you're exactly right, man. It's unbelievable how quickly this show goes by. And it's all because of the amount of information that we try to cover in 4 hours. And usually there's pages and pages and pages and pages of notes left over that we never even get to.
Well, I would say we get to probably about maybe 30% of our stuff, maybe 40 at the if we're really going fast.
On a good day. And then you have the people from the sports station coming down and be like, hey, how did y'all find out about this fighting thing, this boxing thing?
Hey, look, we're
you do your own work, sports station.
Yeah, we're ahead of you. By the way, let's do something else they won't do today. Oconee County Little League, Georgia State champs going on.
Oconee County.
Little League World Series. Let's go.
And that starts August the 16th, I think, Little League World Series up in, is it?
They open up today in the Southeast Regional versus North Carolina.
Okay, so then like August
10 a.m. on ESPN Plus
is when they get up to what is it? We're in Pennsylvania. What's it? Williamsport.
Williamsport.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's awesome. I love it. I think it's so cool. I love Little League World Series. I love watching it. It's so freaking cool.
We're your all-in-one news, sports, and talk station. That's all.
We just try to talk about the things that matter and the things that matter in our communities, the things that are going on in our communities. And if there is something, please reach out to us. Shoot at any of us into email. Reach out to us via social media. We're always willing to talk and debate these things with you or discuss them with you.
And by the way, locally, we have now reached the month of Hampton Morris.
Now
61 kilogram.
What now?
He's going to be he's lifting over. Remember when we heard from his grandmother?
Oh,
they were headed to France.
Oh yes.
So they're now scheduled. I believe their competition starts. I think on August 3rd. But they've been in France the entire time, training and everything else. But so locally, Marietta kid who's he's setting all sorts of crazy records. And he's going to try and win a gold medal.
Dude, we're pulling for him hard.
So Hampton Morris, get it going.
Hampton Morris. Y'all, Katie Ledecky, too. She's my son, who is an athlete himself.
They dated?
No. He just knows the work. Much like you, Los, you played college ball.
Sure,
you know the
work
that it takes. And he's been so focused this entire 3 months. He's been so focused on diet and getting lifts in, and really going back to college and making a difference, making an impact, trying to make an impact on his team. And he's taking it so serious. I've been blown away about how strict he is about his diet and what he's consuming. And it's really impressive. But he told me, as soon as I got home yesterday, he was like, Dad, you see Katie Ledecky? He was like, she's just different.
Yeah.
She is different.
They're all different.
They are.
They all
that
are
level.
different.
Yeah, I know. But it's just that level of respect that he had for her.
Yeah.
Going, dude, that's next level. That's something we don't always get to see.
No, and you know what? I mean, that's part of it. I'm going to start playing softball again because I'm trying to get in shape. But I'm not going out and working out or running or doing anything to prepare myself.
Beer league softball is a little different.
I'll get hurt.
Well, but still,
I'll get hurt.
I will tell you this.
But I don't train. Like it's not like I don't know. That's why I'll never be an Olympic athlete because I'm never going to work that hard to I don't know.
Desire to work that hard.
Here's the problem for Rhino and I won't include you, Tug. Even if we did work that hard, we still wouldn't be Olympic athletes.
Right.
No, you can include me in that for sure.
But,
oh my God.
I don't know. I could do ribbon dancing. I'm pretty good at ribbon dancing.
He's so beautiful. But I will tell you this, even when I was probably at the height of athleticism, when I was a collegiate athlete, I didn't do what these people are doing. Like the whole idea that I knew when pint night was, $2 pint night over at Fox and Hound, downtown Fort Worth. I knew about that. These athletes, they don't know no pint night.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's a different level of dedication, you know?
It is, man, and it's impressive. It is so impressive.
If you're Hampton Morris and you're a world record holder,
God bless him, man,
in the clean and jerk as a 20-year-old, and you hold all these crazy records, you think that he knows where Dunkin' Donuts is?
Right.
No.
And I love Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
But Hampton Morris doesn't know where any of this stuff is.
Right. These guys are watching game film. I'm watching Austin Powers with a beer.
Just giggling at Fat Bastard.
Yeah. It's like me.
I love
it. Baby, Like Hampton Morris knows how many calories are going into his body. Me, I got a general idea.
Yeah. Maybe. Give or take.
16,000 plus 12.
Like in my mind, I go, probably about 1,800 a day. All right. That dude knows exactly what's going in his body.
I have no idea. But yeah, it's cool, man, just to see it all come down and God bless our Olympians. I hope the best for them, and I want to see them do so well, especially guys like Hampton, man. There's just so much there and so much to be proud of. Morning Extra on Extra 1063. So Trump went to the National Association of Black Journalists, and I thought Sage Steele put it the best. I saw a tweet about her, and she was like, my man was attacked the minute he went on the stage. So, of course, he's going to be defensive. Of course, he's going to push back. You were just insulted. You were just, you basically were told you are a racist, sexist, misogynist, and you have no good qualities.
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even.
So the attack immediately came, but I found it interesting that there were nobody booing in the audience, and I know there were journalists, and maybe they're more professional than that, but I heard some laughter, yes. I heard some gasps, but there wasn't anybody that was out there going boo, or making this a thing where Trump should be ashamed.
I think there was more laughter than even gasps, and I think the reason why was they realized how ridiculous it was that she was so disrespectful. You want to talk about disrespect and divisiveness. So Kamala Harris is going to come out saying this is why he shouldn't be a leader. This is divisive and disrespectful. No, what was divisive was the question in general.
Or the statement.
He didn't yell at any of those people because they were black. He didn't say, oh, you're black, a journalist, and I don't like you. No, what he said was, your question is stupid. It had to do with the content and the ridiculousness of their questions. It has to do with their bad ideas, their bad policies, or just stupid ideas in general. Had nothing to do with the color of their skin. They made it divisive.
Well, it's also a situation, too, where that is not a situation that Joe Biden would have survived. There's just no way.
And Kamala would never be put in that situation.
Because she knows. And maybe the biggest thing is that, and I saw this from a number of different pundits yesterday. One of them, I'm trying to remember who it was. It might have even been like Ben Shapiro. He talked about what if you had a situation where it was 18 months of a run up for an election. Kamala Harris would never survive that because at some point she has to answer questions. Their goal, very much like 2020, the COVID year, is to hide her in the proverbial basement and letting her not answer anything. So Donald Trump getting up on stage in a hostile environment and answering questions, just know this, you're not getting that from the other side.
Right. And you know what I mean? People are going to complain about the whole is she black, is she Indian thing, whatever. The fact of the matter is this is the way she ran. This is who she is. You need to know who Kamala Harris is because you don't know her. She has rode every opportunity she has to the position that she's in now.
Figuratively speaking.
Right. I know. Exactly.
Well done, Rhino.
Thank you. So the thing you need to do is say, hold on. You want to know what kind of phony she is? She pandered to one group, did an entire interview on CNN talking about how she's Indian, never mentioned she's black. In 2016, she did an entire interview talking about how she's the first Indian senator. She did the Mindy Kaling show talking about how she was Indian and talked about, her relatives.
From South India.
Yeah.
Specifically. Both of them.
Right. Took awards for being Indian woman and then thanked the women in her family that were of Indian descent that came from Toronto to honor her while she was being Indian in that moment. And then 2020, President Joe Biden decided, hey, I am going to elect the first female black vice president. He labeled her. So the entire game is they're the ones who are creating divisiveness. They're the ones who are using the moniker black and brown people rather than Americans. They're the ones who continue to create this divisiveness. And it's a trap that Donald Trump can fall in, or he can say, hey, I'm just showing you that this is a fraud of a woman that you're voting for. She lies about whatever she has to relate, just like old crazy Joe thinks he's black because he went to a swimming pool in a black community one day.
I just hope Trump can learn from this to not fall in the trap of getting emotional because
you already know that, though. He can't.
I know he can't, but
this
you
has been a
can
long
learn.
time.
But you can learn because we've seen him actually. There's been several occasions leading up to all this where he was refined. Refined's not the right word. He refrained from falling into the trap.
Yeah.
And I know it's impossible because he is who he is. I understand
He's always going to fall in the trap. But there's a way to fall in the trap and be successful with falling in that trap. And he needs to. But again, this is a man who is almost 80 years old, okay? You don't change that.
No, you're right.
A guy who's been outspoken and spoke the truth his entire life in just this little campaign.
And he showed up where Kamala didn't.
Yeah.
And again.
And can you imagine?
They were 35 minutes late, and they're like, I can't believe he left early.
Can you imagine, though, if Kamala was put in that situation on any network, anywhere? It will never, ever, ever happen. No one's going to attack her.
Not over the next 3 months. It won't happen.
Or ever.
Yeah.
It may never happen.
Well, plus they don't want to hear her cackle for 12 minutes while they ask her questions and she gets uncomfortable.
Who's going to put her on the hot seat? Nobody.
No one.
Yeah, there's a reason why they did this with Joe Biden. And it took into a debate that was heavily weighted towards him for us all to go, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time she ever has to answer questions that she's unprepared for from an audience.
Morning Extra and Extra 106.3 8 o'clock hours brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts. 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com. When we come back, Kamala challenged Trump to put his record up against hers on her weakest issue. Yes, please. Next on Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 is committed to bringing you the local and national perspective you need and hearing your voice leading up to the election.
You're not going to believe what Kamala has just called for.
Oh, what now?
The enactment of gun confiscation laws, universal gun registration, and a ban on commonly owned firearms. Basically, everything that's unconstitutional.
God.
She wants a gun confiscation.
Oh, thank you. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Georgia, how about you conservatives who you didn't want to vote for that damn Herschel Walker? How about voting for keeping your guns?
Proud to be Atlanta's conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
Insurance companies know that you don't know a lot about the law, so maybe it would be better just to let your lawyer make the call to the insurance company when there's a problem. David Van Sant should be that lawyer. He used to work for the insurance company. He knows who to call, what to say, and he has your best interest at heart. Plus, if you don't get paid, either does he. Van Sant Law, 855 GA Injury or vansantlaw.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems. Listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
Hey there, it's Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly. Summer is over, and we are in back-to-school mode. So are our friends at Steve Raymond Chevrolet. My friend Ali has an exciting announcement.
Hey, thanks, Tara. I'm Ali Khan, General Manager of Steve Raymond Chevrolet. Join us Saturday, August 9th and 10th for a back-to-school giveaway. We will have free lunch, and we will be donating backpacks stuffed with school supplies free for the first 100 families in attendance. Be sure to scan the QR code in Our Town Monthly to reserve your backpack. Walk-ins are always welcome. We cannot wait to see you there. At Steve Raymond, community is everything to us.
Wow, Ali, a number 2 pencil and a Chevy can take you anywhere. Stop in to Steve Raymond on Cobb Parkway, August 9th and 10th. Grab lunch, a backpack, and say hello from us. And remember, Our Town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
Tug Howard, Scott Rhino, and Carlos Medina get your day started with Atlanta's only live and local conservative talk on the Morning Extra.
Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, the app. Best way to listen, get that free for Apple and Android. You can stream us at extra1063.com. You can listen to it 106.3 FM, 12:30 a.m. There's so many ways to engage. And of course, social media networks too. YouTube channel. It's just there's so many opportunities to be involved with everything that we're doing here at Extra 106.3. And are there things that you still do that you did as a kid and people find it weird?
Pick my nose. Oh, pick my nose.
Yeah, yeah. You would think maybe
weird.
If you'd pull that down, but like
I don't really do that much. But every once in a while in my car, you get one of those that like really hurts, and you have to pull it out and like flick it out the window.
Oh, yuck! I wasn't expecting all the detail.
I don't carry tissues. I'm a man, and I'm not going to blow it in my sleeve either.
It's funny you bring that up because I've turned into an old man. I carry a wadded up, crumpled up tissue with me everywhere I go as soon as I get home.
My grandfather always had a handkerchief.
And see,
my grandfather always, and it was disgusting.
Right?
I mean, embroidered with his initials.
Yeah. Of course.
And the thing you could see like the greenness in it. And
I don't have a handkerchief, but I actually keep a wadded. My son actually noticed it the other day. He was like, "Mama was making fun of you the other day about keeping this wadded up paper towel with like after I eat lunch or something. I just keep it in my hand."
See, and the luckiest I get is a Taco Bell napkin. Like, and it just happened to still be in my console.
Right. No, I get it, man. But there's those things. And like for me, here's another thing that I do that's weird. And I've been doing this since I was a kid. You know how they have those big old, like at church or wherever you go to worship, they have the like those big fixtures up that are hanging up. Have you ever just sat and wondered, like,
what if I hung on it? Or swung on it?
That? Yes, because I thought that too.
I do that too.
Or what happens if that thing falls?
Falls, yeah.
And you're like, that would kill somebody sitting next to. Like, that's something that I've been wondering about and that crosses my mind since I was a child.
Yeah, that's one. And so I like to go up to Wicked Wings there on Sixes Road, and they have one of those big-ass fans from the Big Ass Fan Company with the big metal blades.
Yeah, because they got them in the stadium, too.
And my thought is, when that falls, does that decapitate everybody that's sitting at the bar? Because I look and measure to see, yep, it would cut everybody's head off if spinning fast enough, maybe. I do that all the time, yeah. And what if that fell? Like when someone was walking down the aisle or something and one of those big chandeliers fell?
What about this one? When I was a kid, I remember, because my daddy smoked when I was a kid. Mama didn't, daddy did, and he sort of quit, But I remember being a kid and it being cold outside, and I would pretend to smoke and blow the, because the air would look like smoke. I mean,
you still do that today?
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while. I don't know that I do it just like I did as a kid, but I recall it so vividly doing that as a kid, doing the exhale, that I don't know that I hold my hand up to my mouth as I'm smoking, but when I exhale, I certainly go back to that point in my life.
When I was little, I used to do it with like the big pen. And go outside when it was cold, and I grabbed the big pen and just pretend like I was like my mom. Looking
Weird
like an
things
idiot.
we do as kids, man, and they just don't go away. The other day I saw Jacob doing this one, and I never really liked milk as a child, but I loved chocolate milk. And for some random weird reason, he was blowing bubbles in his milk.
Yeah.
He was making like a protein shake, and there's milk, and he was just drinking what was left out of it, and he was blowing bubbles, and I was like, how old are you, dude?
Here's the other thing I still do. when my straw is in my soda, I put my finger on the top of the straw, pull the straw out, and then drop the liquid in my mouth. I still do that like I was a kid.
I still run with the shopping cart in the parking lot.
Yes,
and jump on and ride. Yes.
I do
That's
that
exactly
too.
what I'm talking about, man. There's so many things. And when you see them, like if you're at Publix and you saw somebody do that, you'd be like, I've done that before.
I've done that.
That's fun.
I mean, come on, I do gaming all the time.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
There's no like, I can't believe you guys do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we all have our thing that we still do since we were kids.
Since you were a kid.
Yeah.
Yes, no
And
doubt.
if I'm forced to go like clothes shopping and stuff, I still hide in between the racks so no one can find me because I'm still the same height.
Where'd Rhino go? Nobody knows. Surprise! I'm Rhino.
Yeah, scary.
No, I actually do. There's something kind of cool about, hey, can I try your drink? And then you take the straw, stick it in, and it's like, oh, that's a good drink.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
good,
like,
yeah.
there's something
We've
kind of
all
cool
done
about
it,
that.
man. Absolutely. There's another one too where we always, as kids, we would take a straw and then, like almost twirl it up and then flick it and make it pop.
So fun.
Dude, me and Jacob were doing that the other day, and he was like, "Why are we doing this?" And I was like, "I don't know, because it's fun." He was like, "How many straws have we wasted?" I don't know, probably too many.
I also every once in a while still take the back part of the wrapper off the straw and then blow the front part in someone's face.
Yes, dude, that happened to us on vacation one time.
Straws are fun. This is what I'm learning.
They're the greatest. We were in Florida, maybe Redneck Riviera, maybe Daytona. It could be either one. We're at Orion's Steakhouse. Do y'all remember Orion's Steakhouse?
Yeah. So rich.
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you.
Very rich.
We only went
rich
there
folk.
once in a while because it was the big buffet.
Anniversaries and
yeah, absolutely.
birthdays.
Because it was like, 10 or at that time, 10 or 12,
We had
$15.
Ponderosa in New York.
Dude, Ponderosa, we had one at Dalton.
Yeah, and what was the other steak one?
Gold Growl.
No, we had something else.
Western Sizzlin'?
Yeah, Sizzler. we called it Sizzler.
Well,
Western Sizzler.
I think there were different ones.
Oh, are they?
I think
I thought they were
Sizzler
the
and
same
Western
company.
Sizzlin' is different. I don't know. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I think that's right. Anyway, we're sitting at one of those places. I think it was Ryan's. And I'm being a knucklehead 14, 15-year-old kid, and I did exactly what you did, or you're talking about. Take the end off of the straw and blow the wrapper and into a big loop. And it went in this gigantic loop and just like back and forth like Bugs Bunny style and landed on the shoulder of the man sitting behind my dad.
Oh, no.
I was laughing so hard. My sister was like, oh, my God, our daddy's going to have a meltdown. My mama wasn't hardly paying attention. My dad noticed. Dude, I thought it was going to be a Bart Simpson moment where he grabbed me around my throat and squeezed me to death. He was so pissed off at me for doing that.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I was like, was it that big a deal? But he expected a certain behavior. It's a certain behavior, and I get it. But at the time, he was so furious. I don't know that I've ever made my dad more mad than in that moment doing what kids do.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
I had one of those moments where, you're blowing a bubble with your bubble gum, and it was like I had chewed it to the point where it's too hard to actually chew anymore and tried to blow a bubble, and it shot out of my mouth and stuck to the back of a bald man's head behind me or in front of me.
Yeah,
that was not a good sign. Yeah, not happy about that one.
Understandable.
It was really funny though.
Los, did you not do any of this stuff? I feel like you're a good kid.
No, I was part of all this stuff. I mean,
what do girls do?
I still got in trouble. We used to joke around about throwing romaine. We used to go over to the store and get the small romaine tomatoes and drive around and run to somebody's car and throw tomatoes at people. So like you're like the straw. We're like,
we took it a step further.
The night that it ended at was when we got pulled over by an off-duty police officer who put his gun on us, and we were like that's the end of that.
Jeez, he pulled his gun on you for throwing a tomato.
Time out. Did.
Yeah,
we thought it was a friend of ours, and we were like, oh, Chase. He turned his dome light on, saw him as a police officer, pulled us over, had us at gunpoint, got all of our stuff, and then drove and followed us as we all went home.
If there are women listening right now, because Rhino brings up a great question, and I don't know the answer.
Yeah, what do girls do that like when they were kids that they still do today?
They still today, or the ones that got them in trouble. They got because my sister was always so well behaved. Everything was just
they're so mature.
Yes.
We're idiots.
We're
dumb.
We're idiots.
We're completely.
I mean, we're
idiotic.
necessary, but we're complete buffoons while being necessary.
Oh no, I look at it when it comes to having daughters, and I see boys their corresponding age, and I recognize that's me and I'm stupid. Whereas my daughters are so much more mature,
right?
At their age.
Yeah, no doubt. 404-741-1230. Ladies, what were you doing that got yourself in trouble, or still doing that you did as
Don't
a
say
child?
drugs or men.
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah. Well, that's not what we're looking for.
Like childish things.
Yeah, so we're
like, do you ever go over
less
to
risque.
Yeah, like, do you steal someone else's Barbie doll still?
That's exactly
like,
right.
what silly things?
Or do you and your girlfriends braid one another's hair? Braid
Right.
one another's hair. Yeah, because I know that was my sister and our cousins, and they were always braiding each other. Do your daughters do that? Do they just sit around braiding each other's hair?
Not like that, although when we're at volleyball tournaments, there's the girls that know really how to do hair. And so everyone goes over to their room and be like,
and then they do.
It's like, say, here, will you get my hair ready for competition?
Yeah, I love it.
And that's what
That's
happens. So, like, for instance, at our team, Lily's the girl who knows how to do hair better than anybody, and so they all go to Lily's room.
Dude, that's awesome. But I love that because that's memories that will stick with them for the rest of their lives.
Do girls still have pillow fights at sleepover parties when they're older? Like, do they, just add in some wine and then?
Not in my house.
Oh, man.
I try and just say, like, what are y'all going to do that's going to keep you quiet?
Yes, that's right.
Because they woke me up during nap time yesterday because, the United States played another 5-set match in volleyball, and not only was it just my wife, but my 2 daughters are all screaming downstairs.
Yeah. You're like,
keep it down. Keep it down.
Yeah.
Keep it down.
Now, does your wife go on like girls' trips, and then the girls are like, you know what? Let's have a pillow.
Question.
Let's have a pillow fight.
Yeah, I don't think that. Probably not is my guess. I don't know.
But this is my.
No, yeah. No, I'm just guessing. I don't know. Could be.
Aaron's going on a beach trip next week, and I hope they get in a pillow fight.
Girlfriend Aaron, you'll have to chime in and let us know. That's funny. Kamala Harris has challenged Donald Trump to put his record up against hers on her weakest issue, the freaking border, Rhino. Like, of all the things you could have chosen, if you were smart, you would not have chosen the border because the majority of Americans want less immigration to begin with. They want, and that's legal or illegal. They want less and are okay with militarizing the southern border to stop it.
Yeah, Kamala Harris, I think, made a huge mistake saying, I'm willing to put my record up against yours anytime. And this is something that, I don't think she should be doing. Now, she should stay to her divisive concepts and ideas and separation and trying to create division because that's going to work for her and she'll be able to garner votes based on that. But if she wants to go based on record, she doesn't have a record. And she can do whatever she wants to say, hey, I am responsible for $35 insulin. We all know that's not true. It's not going to go far. And Donald Trump can combat that right away. Donald Trump does want to talk about the border. She does not want to talk about the border. She can't talk about the border. He did a good job yesterday, by the way, in Harrisburg, talking about, okay, well, let's talk about this. Let's go. And the whole crowd lost their mind. All right, let's talk about your record. And then he talked about, yep, she did. She went to the border once. Because I'm not going to allow them to fact check me when I say she didn't go to the border. It's a beautiful place. My wife and I have been there. We had a beautiful dinner right there on the border because it's so clean, so beautiful, so nice. That's the border she went to. She didn't actually address the border.
Well, the issue ends up being that she was given such a limited scope of power. And again, it didn't work out because everything she was involved in, you had people that had a negative view of her. So you didn't put her in charge of a whole lot of things where you said, okay, here's an opportunity for success, or hey, you'll be able to go ahead and run with this. So the fact that she can only really talk about 2 or 3 things, and one of them's the border, and it's an atrocity what has happened with it.
Oh, my God.
It's like, no wonder. It's like, get her into border talk as quickly as possible. And you notice what everyone in the media, we spent all last week saying she's not the border czar. Okay?
Yeah.
They're trying to distance her from the thing that hurts the very most.
Her playing this game of, oh, he's afraid to debate me. Why not accept the debate? Why are you backing down? This is dumb on her side because he's not going to back down. He wants to debate you. In fact, they're getting ready to debate you. They just want a fair stage. They want an opportunity to do it on Fox News as well as ABC and other outlets.
Well, remember, ABC he currently has a lawsuit against because of George Stephanopoulos.
Right.
So I'm with you. I'm like, why would I go to ABC where I know you've already slandered me?
Yeah,
and I have lawsuit accordingly.
And you saw it again yesterday with, Rachel Scott, who is an ABC News correspondent. But I wouldn't, if I was Kamala, I wouldn't keep pushing this because when you do get to that stage, because they will find a way to get on the debate stage, he's going to destroy you on those issues like Carlos just said. You don't want to be attached to him because she has nothing to attach herself to. She has no record because the reality of it is this. I know that Democrats and everybody doesn't want to hear it. They didn't plan on having Kamala Harris run for president. They were planning on getting rid of both of them at the same time, and they were okay with that. Everything got played by Joe Biden saying, hold on, I'm not stepping down until it was threatened. And then they pickled themselves to go, God, we have no other choice. We can't overlook the first vice president that happens to be a black female. So we got to put her in. Now we got to play identity politics, and she should stay that route.
Just quickly, breaking news: Evan Gershkovich, the the New York Times reporter. He's Wall Street Journal. Yeah. And the Marine veteran Paul Whelan they're being swapped. It's a prisoner swap, a multi-person prisoner swap with Russia. As I get a breaking news now, I don't know any of the details, just the fact that it's
arms
happening.
dealer are we giving?
I was going to say.
That's exactly right. Like, what are we giving up?
Which
just like
person
last
is
time.
responsible for millions of American deaths are we going to give to them?
But the White House is only doing this to make sure that Joe Biden looks like he's actually doing something as president of the United States, because we've heard zero from him. Zero.
And ironically, I'm so glad that Paul's coming home, and Evan, to be honest, but we got our lesbian basketball player back a long time ago.
Yeah. So
in a prisoner swap, and this is what we're getting now. And again,
well, she's in the Olympics, so win us.
But let's be honest, why is this important right now? This is important because when Donald Trump went on the attack last week and started talking about why Biden is bad at foreign policy, what he's given away in return for hostages, that he can't even negotiate a hostage, that he would walk into Russia and bring Evan home. Evan wouldn't be there. These kind of things that Trump said. Now we're less than 100 days away from an election. So yeah, they are doing everything they can to pander and not and
to look strong, and they're not.
So happy they're coming home.
No, of course.
But again, this is a pander to make it look like he has strength when we know he doesn't.
He does not. As weak as a kitten. 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Their number is 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com is the website.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta. Your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, August 1st. Authorities have issued a Levi's call for 2-month-old Rhea Clark after she was kidnapped from a Sandy Springs hotel early yesterday morning. Police are looking for baby Rhea's non-custodial father, Rainey Bernard Clark, who is accused of shooting a relative in September. The details surrounding the abduction have not been released, and investigators say baby Rhea is in extreme danger. A second ex parte or secret meeting between Fulton County Superior Court Judge Ural Glanville and state prosecutors has defense lawyers in the YSL RICO gang trial calling for an immediate dismissal of the indictments of their clients. According to attorney Doug Weinstein, Judge Glanville met with prosecutors Adrian Love and Simone Hilton and gossip like yentas over 13 pages of transcripts about defense attorneys Max Shart, John Melnick, and Brian Steele during a June 7th secret meeting, and that was before the June 10th secret meeting that spurred the recusal of Judge Glanville. And in sports, the Braves have won 4 of their last 5 games after Matt Olson and Travis d'Arnaud hit back-to-back homers twice in the game. The Braves went to a 6-2 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, giving them the series win. The Braves back in action tonight at Truist Park to take on the Miami Marlins, who are currently on a 4-game losing streak. Charlie Morton will throw out the first pitch beginning at 7:20. You can catch all the action on our sister station, 680 The Fan.
You may have noticed Mossad don't mess around, and you'll learn about it in story time with Front Office Los. Get your pencils sharpened and your notepads ready for next. What's coming up next on Xtra 106.3?
Xtra 106.3 is the only station in Atlanta to bring you unedited news, information, and updates. With an all-star lineup of local and network voices, Xtra is committed to being the station you need during the biggest election of our lifetime.
This presidential election is unlike any other.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Xtra 106.3 FM, and listen across Georgia on the Xtra app.
It's been just the slightest bit cooler lately because of all the rain. You probably noticed that. Your AC probably hadn't been on quite as much. It's going to get back up to a steamy 93 Georgia summer degrees. Now, that's going to put some additional pressure on your HVAC units. Do you have one? Do you have two? Do you have three? Do you have multiple? This is going to be a problem when we get to the point where your AC just doesn't turn off. it just stays on constantly. And of course, your power bill is going to reflect it. So you want these things to work efficiently so it doesn't cost you as much money. Save energy, save money, get a maintenance agreement today to make sure that your HVAC is finely tuned and operational the way it's supposed to be so it cools but it doesn't bankrupt you. Now, if you've gotten to the point where you have a system that needs some real work, Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they work on every brand, every make, every model, and can get it up to tip-top shape. If it's gone way too far, you may need a new Carrier system. They can provide that too, give you a great deal on it. Chuck and his team been doing this in Atlanta, family owned and operated for 77 years. You heard me right, 77 years. So whatever you need, they can take care of. I would just encourage you to get it done sooner rather than later before this heat hits you like a ton of bricks right in the face. This is the way to go. It is Central Heat. CentralHeat.com, 770-GET-HEAT.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
We are quickly approaching the 1-year anniversary of the horrific Hamas attacks on Israel, and still, the Holy Land continues to be attacked on multiple fronts. Deadly threats are increasing in northern Israel. Constant rocket attacks from Hezbollah have been fired at Israel, causing widespread damage with raging fires destroying precious farmland. Since the war started, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews has been on the forefront in Israel, addressing the needs of the most vulnerable. That's why I'm partnering with IFCJ today, and your life-saving donation will help provide emergency food as well as critical security, such as flak jackets and firefighting equipment and armored vehicles, bomb shelters, and so much more. Would you join my fellowship, the fellowship with me, by donating $150 to meet these urgent security needs? To make that gift right now, call 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-4325. Or go online to supportifcj.org.
Keep up with all of our shows and the latest headlines by following Extra 1063 on Instagram, X, Facebook, Truth Social, and all your social media platforms. Plus exclusive giveaways and more. So follow now at XTRA 1063.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. As we slide closer and closer to the bonus hour, we've got an opportunity for you to pick up some knowledge. Get your number 2 pencils and erasers out. And today, a lot of kids back in school. Rhino, your son, is back in school. Got his number 2 pencil erasers, number 2 pencils and erasers, and probably some places to take some notes, because we're going to go to school with Front Office Los. It's brought to you by Atlanta Ramjack, your local foundation repair experts, AtlantaRamjack.com.
Settle in and get comfortable, folks. It's story time with Uncle Los.
Thank you, Ramjack. Thank you, Rhino. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Tug. You're welcome.
You betcha.
Everybody gets thank yous. We talked about this back in maybe first week of October, after the atrocity that was October 7th. We talked about how if you know something about the history of the Mossad, that's the special agency, the Israeli version of the CIA, they don't have a problem with, if you hit us, we're going to hit you back, not just like twice as hard, but like 10 times as hard. And so we used at the time, we talked about the Munich massacre that Black October had pulled off, where going back to the Olympic period, going over into the Israeli area of the Olympic Village and taking hostages, and eventually, those Israeli weightlifters were killed when they attempted to try and free them over at the airport. And so at that point, the Mossad kicked in and basically said, anybody who had anything to do with this, we're killing them.
You're done.
You're done. So we're going after
no matter where you're hiding.
No matter where
and
you
how long
were.
it takes us.
And in fact, I think the last one, when we went through the whole storyline, the last person associated with Munich died like 9 years after it happened. That's how long it took for them to catch up and eventually go, this guy had a part in this and he's going down.
Yep.
Like, for instance, you had someone who, within a year, was standing at their elevator in a European country and you had Mossad gunmen put 9 bullets in them. Just be like, okay, there you go. And it was on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. And so I just think about it in these terms that you've recently had the senior Hezbollah commander and you had the political leader of Hamas both taken out by airstrikes. Now, no surprise, you don't think that they were monitoring exactly who these guys were. Of
course they were.
When it was going to be time. And the fact that they took them out in Tehran and Beirut.
Dude, going into Iran is, I mean,
crazy.
I don't want to say unprecedented, but damn near unprecedented.
It's pretty ballsy, okay? It's what they did.
Incredibly bold. It shows incredible strength. It shows incredible strategy and incredible leadership.
But I asked this question, and I direct this to Rhino because I think this is the part that is so interesting about this. We just had Bibi Netanyahu, who came through here, met with the president, didn't get a chance to meet with Kamala Harris, met with former President Trump. And within a week, it was go time.
Yeah.
Like, you wonder what occurred where he went, either this man's going to be in office and it's cool, or this one's too weak to do anything on the world stage to tell us no.
I thought the same exact thing, and then Donald Trump said it yesterday as well. I mean, I think it's a really fair question to ask and answer for yourself. When the Congress, and it was a joint session, all got together to welcome Netanyahu in, not all of them, but most of them, the one thing that they realized was Netanyahu had respect for one man and one man only, and that was Donald Trump and his strength.
Yeah, it was.
He did... I guess he was. He gave the olive branch to President Biden and treated him fair and said, "Hey, he supports us," which I think was fair.
He's still sending weapons and ammunition and such over to them, and with
I never bought how anybody respecting the Israelis the way they should have, though. That's
right,
especially with a D next to their names.
And he knew that. Yeah, so that's why he went to Mar-a-Lago, because he knows, hey, this is what we need to do. This is the strength. We need to continue to fight these terrorists. But yeah, there's no secret whatsoever that they said they're not even strong enough. The vice president even did show up. Should have been sitting behind this leader. She's not good on foreign policy. That's the next president. Iran said, we got no problem doing whatever we need to do. And you know what? That's the scary part to me too, Carlos, is I'm glad you brought up Munich, because it's very reminiscent that we have an Olympics going on right now, and that there are people in the audience that are giving Heil Hitler signs, that there are people calling for the genocide of the Jews, and we have to have increased security. I hope the Mossad has people taking these athletes to and from these events, because they are gearing up for, again, another attack, because this is all they're good for, is these Islamic extremists is causing trouble. They don't do anything good for their people.
I just say we often talk about the difference in chess versus checkers, and this is seriously world chess.
Yeah.
You actually had the prime minister of Israel, who by the time he meets with Joe Biden, and given all that's occurred, this is not meeting with the president 3 or 4 months ago. Because remember, he's now established he's not running, and he's established that he is mentally unfit. Remember, 4 months ago, sharpest guy around.
Oh, yeah.
Most brilliant guy around. Somewhere between meeting with him and meeting with Trump, he's like, it's go time.
Yeah.
And how it's because they were both dead within 24 hours.
But again, that
like synchronized.
You had both Biden and Kamala Harris saying, peace treaty, fine, negotiated. Yeah. And they were like, okay, and they, in one ear, out the other, because we're going to fix the problem.
And he basically said, no, we're not attacking in Gaza.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going international, and we're killing these fools.
There's two sides. I think Netanyahu realized after meeting with them, they're not strong enough. I have to do this on my own.
They can't stop me.
Right. They can't stop me. And you know what? They can't stop the terrorists, nor will they, because they're playing politics with this. And they're playing both sides. They're playing to a bunch of terrorists and pro-terrorist groups. They're allowing their entire city to be run over right here in the Capitol.
And what happened just outside.
Yeah.
And you have that playing out as he's speaking. And no wonder he went home and was like, we can't trust those fools.
But I think Iran also saw the same exact story, and they said, you know what? We can kill 12 innocent children. We can kill Israelis.
We're going to walk over these people.
And we can walk over them. And you know what? It doesn't matter if we fire at them. And if they retaliate, well, we'll use that as our propaganda and saying, well, they came into our country. They didn't ask permission to come here and kill a bunch of terrorists.
They did what they had.
They're going to be
do.
They realize the weakness
every step of the way.
Because
the things that Israel are doing are going to benefit your children and your grandchildren, because the United States is not in a position to take care of those situations on their own at this point.
No,
our military is in shambles, y'all. The more I read about it, the more I communicate with people still in. We are in such bad shape, dude.
But let's also be honest about where I think us three all are. We've been the generation, Doug, you did it, that fought the war on terror, that lived through the war on terror. We're tired of dealing with terrorists around the world.
And that's why we're so pissed when we see them on college campuses.
The fact that the Israelis will still do it, good for y'all.
Do you know when the fire will cease? Do you know when the airplanes will stop hitting buildings? Do you know when the suicide bombers will stop bombing? The ceasefire will happen when we eliminate them. And the only person going to eliminate them is a strong leader, and he happens to run the only democratic country in the Middle East.
New video makes the United States Secret Service look like the United States Secret Circus. Next on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Why I Hate Cats by Neil Bortz, the Talkmaster. It's a long story, so here's the bullet points. White Persian cat suddenly starts walking around the house with black paws. Why? Next day, cat is standing in the fireplace, paws getting filthy with ashes. There's noise in the chimney. I go pull the handle for the damper. A bird, along with 10 pounds of ashes, comes roaring out of the chimney all over the cat. The bird starts flying around the room. The cat starts chasing the bird. There are ashes everywhere. Cat captures bird. Your hero takes the bird from the cat and throws it outside. Now we have a living room and living room furniture covered with ashes from the cat and bird chase. I go to the grocery store. I get a rug cleaner. I spend the better part of a couple of hours shampooing the rug and the furniture. Got it nice and clean, but it's wet. Did I mention we had a party scheduled for that night? So I return the shampoo machine. Now I'm faced with having to try to dry out the carpeting and the furniture before our friends arrive. Here's an idea. I'll just turn on our 800 horsepower attic fan. It'll draw air through the house and dry out everything. The Talkmaster runs upstairs, flips the switch. The ceiling fan turns on. The wife starts screaming from downstairs. What could be wrong? I'll tell you what, there's not one window open anywhere in our condo. The ceiling fan can only draw air from one place, the chimney. Out comes a billowing cloud of black ash that settles all over the wet carpeting, the wet couch, the wet chairs, everything. We get on the phone, we cancel the party, buy new furniture, and just live with the carpeting. I hate cats, and not one of you blames me. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Marketing is everywhere. From the billboards on the highways to the notifications on your phone, we are constantly bombarded with people trying to sell us stuff. What makes good marketing? Are you doing enough in your life personally and professionally to market yourself? You have questions, and the Marketing Madmen have answers. Tune in every Saturday, now at 4 p.m., right here on Extra 106.3 to get practical marketing advice from expert guests who are shaping and reshaping the business world. They say marketing is a madman's game. Join the Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. to find out why.
Self-employed in 2021, you may be entitled to up to $32,220 in COVID tax relief. At smartsetc.com, our ex-IRS auditors leverage credentialed knowledge to help you understand your claim with no upfront costs. Don't miss out on this opportunity to maximize the claim you're entitled to. Take our short eligibility quiz at smartsetc.com now. That's smartsetc.com.
Extra 106.3 is committed to bringing you the local and national perspective you need and hearing your voice leading up to the election.
You're not going to believe what Kamala has just called for.
Oh, what now?
The enactment of gun confiscation laws, universal gun registration, and a ban on commonly owned firearms. Basically, everything that's unconstitutional. She wants a gun confiscation.
Oh, thank you. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Georgia, how about you conservatives who didn't want to vote for that damn Herschel Walker? How about voting for keeping your guns?
Proud to be Atlanta's conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
This is a Fox News alert. A U.S. and Russia prisoner swap. I'm Dave Anthony, and it's going to bring at least 2 Americans home.
Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Grishkovich, who was just sentenced in July to 16 years in prison. He had been accused of espionage. The U.S. as well as the U.S. government as well as the Wall Street Journal had flatly denied that and said that he was simply being a political prisoner of the Russians. We are understanding now from White House officials that he is part of this prisoner swap, as well as the former Marine Paul Whelan, who had been arrested back in 2018 and convicted in 2020.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. We don't know yet who else is being set free, including what prisoners the U.S. will be sending back to Russia. In December, a swap brought jailed American basketball player Brittany Griner back from Russia in exchange for convicted arms dealer Victor Bout. We found out this morning that Israel's taken out another terror leader, the commander of Hamas's military wing in Gaza.
The IDF confirmed it killed Mohammed Def, one of the masterminds behind the October 7th massacre. This strike actually took place around 3 weeks ago, but it took Israeli intelligence this much time to confirm that the operation was successful.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. In Iran, there's a public mourning today for Hamas's political leader killed in a missile strike in Tehran yesterday. Reuters reports Iranian leaders are meeting today with proxy militant group leaders plotting revenge against Israel. Reaction keeps coming in. Critical of the U.S. government plea deal with the 9/11 attacks mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and 2 other terrorists at Guantanamo, sparing them the death penalty. Republican Congressman Mike Lawler just told Fox.
In many respects, it's evil, and it's a betrayal for these 9/11 families. 23 years later, we're still losing first responders to 9/11 health-related illnesses.
Former President Trump will be interviewed today by the FBI as it keeps probing the assassination attempt 19 days ago. America's listening to Fox News.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm going to let you in on a wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile want you to believe you need unlimited data. Fact is, most people don't. Pure Talk only charges you for data you need. For just $25 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 5 gigs of data, plus mobile hotspot. Stop overpaying for wireless. Dial pound 250 and say Pure Talk to switch easily. And save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
It took 100 years, but finally there's a conservative voice you can trust. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. Extra 106.3.
Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. So many kids are back in school today. It seems like once the 4th of July happens, it is a grease pole all the way down to the schoolhouse. It happens so quickly. And Rhino has a new high schooler in the house.
Yeah. A little nervous about it.
Yeah, man, I get it, dude. I get it. But he's going to do
Kids are
so well.
mean and
He's going to do
cruel.
so well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's going to have a good time. We had a big scheduling issue where he was freaking out about the classes he thought he was going to get. And I had told him, I said, look, calm down until you actually get your schedule. Stop assuming you're going to get theater instead of graphic design, which you wanted. And he got his schedule, and he's like, you're right, I did overreact, I got what I wanted, I'm happy. And I'm like, good. Unfortunately, like, he already got bullied, and, you know, it's his first day. He put out that he was excited and put out on one of his little social media apps that all the schools are connected to, you know, Cal High School, ! Excited. And a senior decided to write back to him, die. So not a comfortable way.
Issues. Yeah, that kid's got issues. But yeah, I mean, you just have to talk him through it, you know, and let them know that's his problem. That's the person that wrote its problem. It's not your issue.
Yeah, and that's a good thing because as he gets bullied, I got to see the effects of somebody who's like that, because all the other welcoming kids in 11th and 12th grade put that kid in his place.
See? That's
and
exactly
said,
right, man.
why would you teach or treat someone or tell them something so horrible
because they have
when
issues.
they're excited to come to school?
They have issue. The person that said that has the issue.
It's a sick world we live in, and these are the kind of parents that, that the kid is, it's unfortunate a kid, that would be the first thought instead of welcome to school. Hey, if you need anything or need, to understand the school, find us.
But take heart, there's more of the kind kids.
And he'll have a lot of new friends now.
That's exactly
in all
right,
grades
man. He's
because
gonna
of
do
it,
so
which is
great.
nice. But
he's going to do terrific, man.
There's always haters, man.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
That's how it is.
Plus, he's a black belt, so wow.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. Like the minute that the senior opens his mouth, hiya!
Yeah,
right in the throat.
Yeah, I've been
game over. Dude doesn't. He can't talk. He can't say die anymore because he can't speak.
Girlfriend Erin was teaching. She boxed in the Army and knows enough about self-defense to teach him some really good tricks. To hey, if they do this, try to walk away. If not, go here. And they will not get back up.
That's exactly right.
All right, cool.
Between the education girlfriend Aaron's given and the black belt, he's going to be just fine. Los, your girls back to school today?
Yeah, they're back as of this morning.
That's what I thought too, man. How's it going? Have you heard? Have you had
so
anything?
far so good. I actually contacted the wife during one of our breaks. She just handled drop off. She said both girls were, because first day.
Yeah.
Said they didn't eat much breakfast. They're a little nervous.
Jitters,
A little nervous, which is good.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, it's just part of life.
He does not like having to get up at 6 o'clock.
Well,
I'm like,
name
dude,
the person that does.
Yeah, your bus came before that earlier. Like, get used to it. You got 4 years of this, and for the rest of your life, you'll probably be waking up at 6.
Yeah.
But you got weekends.
Yeah,
sleep
no
in
doubt.
like the rest of us did when we were teenagers.
Right, man.
Man, I used to sleep till like noon on Saturday.
It's no kidding. And my youngin goes back to start his sophomore year at the College of Charleston. He goes back on Sunday. We're going to drive back over Sunday, and I'll be out Monday and then back Tuesday just trying to get him situated, get him moved in. And he took a bunch of stuff over there already, and man, buying things for the room that we just didn't have. When he was in a dorm, he didn't need a lot of the things like a bed. Like we had to get a bed, just all that stuff that you don't think of. And right now, according to Wallet Hub, $586 per child. That's what it costs to get your kid ready to go back to school with the lists and all the things that they need. And
That's probably about right.
yeah. Dude, that's a ton of money.
I
got two, man. That's double that.
I didn't really think about it until it actually occurred when my wife goes, well, they need new shoes. And I was like, okay. And they did, because they've just worn them out and they're growing and they destroy their shoes.
That's right.
And so they each got like 3 pairs of shoes for different, and I went, okay, well, that's like, there's another 40, 50. And then you start going with the supplies. Yeah.
Oh, man, the shoes thing. That got me.
The shoes, man.
He wanted
like $100 each.
Yeah, he's big into the Jordan thing and all the hottest shoes, keeping them clean, which I'm fine with. And he earned $100. I made him work, and he said he wants to have this, and he had some money of his own, and he found the shoes he wanted, $130.
Good Lord.
And I'm like, all right, listen, I told you I'd cover the first $100 for the work that you did around the house and the things that you've done, so you will have $100. The $30 you'll have to take out and pay for your own and pay your share of it. And he did. And so that's the most important thing he got, though. Like, I was like, what about paper? What about a binder? No, I got my shoes.
You got a good there.
And my Spider-Man shirt I'm wearing.
It's awesome how they appreciate that stuff more.
I think
when they've put in some of the work into it.
Yeah, for sure. Because we had the whole thing with the PlayStation, right? And Jacob had already come up with the money. He was going to pay for it all. And he made it a point. He's like, I'm going to pay for it all. And so we went and got it all done, and I just put it on the credit card easy, and he brought down the money from the birthday money, all this. Dude, he had a stack. I'm like,
he's dealing.
Yeah, it's no kidding. And then my wife turns around and she's like, you're going to need some cash. Just hang on to it. So we ended up paying for it all. So I'm not sure. The lesson on the front I thought was good. The lesson in the end, I'm not so sure it is. But whatever. But parents, apparently, according to Wallet Hub, parents are spending most on clothing, as y'all were saying.
Clothing and shoes.
Accessories. Yeah. Tech is next, new computers, tablets, whatever you need, and then supplies, I guess, are bringing up the rear. Papers.
We haven't had to update any tech, but we have a rule in the house. All right, the rule has been once you turn double digits, we'll get you a phone. Now, the phone is very limited in terms of what it can do. Yeah, we don't allow just the full access to all the online craziness and everything else. It's like, if you got to be somewhere, you call, you got to text, you got to whatever. My 9-year-old turns 10 in about 21 days. I was like, and she's been saying, like, I told her last year when she turned 9, I was like, you're 9, what's going to happen when you're 10? She's like, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to buy me that phone. That's what she told me. I was like, oh, so.
Yeah, or you give her that one and get you a new one.
10 was the time that we decided, Liam, partly because, number one, it's the first time he's allowed to walk to the bus stop and his own independence wanted him to be there. And I couldn't deal with that.
It's also a nice tracking device, too.
Right. Yeah. So I was able to Life 360 that and also be able to say, hey, are you safe? You at the bus stop? You? Because I'm a worry wart, man.
That's part of it, too.
It's normal. Normal.
The fact that my daughter went to Iowa by herself, it was so reassuring to be able to text her and her teammates and be like, no, we're in bed. Hey, we're grabbing dinner. Just, little stuff like that. And so that's why we'll start it at 10 and we'll go from there.
Yeah, but I think, you must be proud, though, the fact that she was able to go to Iowa by herself.
Outside of being concussed.
Yeah, well, but that's something.
Outside of that, very proud of her. Very proud of her for being able to pull that off as a 13-year-old with her teammates.
So stinking cool. I love it, man. So, if you got kids, grandkids going to school this morning, know it's tough and everybody gets little jitters and even the parents get a little bit of butterflies.
By the way, the rest of the world is now catching up with what we were covering at the 6 o'clock hour.
About time. And yesterday, don't forget, we talked
about it 2 days ago. 2 days ago, we told you that at the Olympics, you were going to have 2 different people who had failed testing under the International Boxing Association to verify that they're women. We're going to be competing against women. And one of them today ended up taking out the Italian lady. And so now Clay Travis is on this and Wokeness is on this. Again, this happened very early before a lot of people got up at 6:20 this morning. And so if you're just getting in the car, just know you're going to be seeing a whole lot of videos and not the entirety of the fight.
No.
It won't show you all of it. But the fight lasted 46 seconds, in which Angela Carini decided, I'm not going to continue this because this person is a man and they are punching me ruthlessly.
And you see her say, this is not fair, off to the side of, where her trainers and all this is. And everybody knows it. And I think she made the wisest choice by not getting killed, first of all. But then secondly, putting the spotlight on what had actually happened, putting the spotlight on what's going on in Olympic boxing. This is an embarrassment. It should be an embarrassment. And anybody that supports a man beating up a woman is ridiculous. You have no room to argue anything.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And the left that embraces this and accepts this in any manner won't speak against this because they're so afraid of the tyrannical minority. It's ridiculous. I hope if this guy ends up winning the gold or the other guy ends up winning the gold or the silver, I hope the cover says gold medalist for beating women. That's what it should say, because that's exactly what it is. I won this gold from punching women in the face. I won this gold from abusing women. I won this gold by having an unfair advantage. I did not use equity because I'm not equitable to them. I'm not the same as them. I actually used an advantage to get past them. My privilege that the left has given me.
It would be better if both of the biological men, according to testing, were in the same weight class. Because wouldn't it be fun? Wouldn't it just be the epitome of the failure of feminism that you have 2 men fighting for the gold medal in women's boxing?
Of course. Dude, again,
that'd be beautiful.
The spotlight is on it right now.
It'd be like, how's that pretzel feel for you?
Yeah. Well,
how many women's rights advocates are going to be out in the streets, burning things, jumping around,
There's
wearing
Marjorie
their pink
Taylor
hats?
Green checking in. Yeah, the rest of the world is waking up to this now and starting to realize, wow, what silliness that you actually had an Olympian who trained for as many years as she did end her dreams at the hands of a man.
Do you think
in women's boxing?
Do you think the IOC chairman will come out and say this is the worst Olympics ever, like he did in Atlanta? No,
I don't think so.
No, even though they had people actually doing Hitler salutes in the audience to some of the athletes.
He's not even addressed that, has he? I don't think he's addressed
beating
that.
women.
Yeah, dude.
A man pretending to be a woman in the opening ceremonies, and then an outright attack on religion. This is the most disgusting, worst Olympics that's ever happened, and I haven't even watched a minute of it, and I already know that.
Yeah, it is. It's disturbing. It's unbelievable, and Yeah, I mean, I wish the best for the USA, Team USA, the athletes, man. I'm pulling for them, and I want to see them do well.
I'll pray for women.
You need to, clearly. You need to, because the people that are the great defenders of women are certainly not out there defending them today. And if you're listening to this show, you only knew this was coming 2 days ago because we told you that far in advance.
And you'll get it 9:30 tomorrow with the Taiwanese fighter who will be fighting a woman as well.
Morning Extra, Extra 106.3, Tug, Rhino, and Los. The U.S. Secret Service is what it is at this point. 3 minutes before Thomas Crooks took shots at President Trump there in Butler, Pennsylvania. In new video, it shows Crooks running across the top of the building. There's so many reasons to get Trump off the stage or never let him go on stage because they knew 90 minutes before there was somebody out there with a rangefinder acting suspiciously. The more you see what's happening, the more questions that you have, the more it leads you to go, either they were willfully negligent or they are just completely past repair and you need to tear it all down. Maybe it's both. But there was testimony by the acting Secret Service Director Rowe and Deputy FBI Director Abate, and both of them were testifying, and both of them said, we couldn't get clear shots. We could only, we just barely see his elbows. And then you learn just seconds before he took those shots. 3 minutes in total before he was taking those shots. My man is running up and down the tops of the building. Does anybody not look at that and go, that doesn't seem right? Are there any other of our snipers doing exercise routines right now? What's happening?
It's different when you talk about Lee Harvey Oswald and a concealed position from a school book depository building. And, okay, here's the floor you're on, and here's what you did. The man ran across the rooftop. You can see it on video. You had people there kept saying, there's a guy up there on the roof, and he's got a gun. And it took 3 minutes before the shots rang out, and no one thought, hey, maybe we should get the ex-president off the stage.
Hey, Joe, they're on the walkie-talkies. Is anybody up there on the roof moving around, changing positions? Can somebody just ask a question, maybe?
Just one.
Just maybe
Just one.
Rhino.
Your comms are your biggest issue? Come on. That's silly. I mean,
and we had that early on, too. We said there's no way their comms were all in sync.
And
no
we
way.
learned that they weren't. They went through a middleman. There wasn't an open network. You would think there would be an open network between everybody who is armed and protecting the president. But no, the local police were on a different comm network than the Secret Service. Everything had to go to a clearinghouse, a middleman, to disseminate the comms and the information coming in. So poorly executed that it can't be just an accident. There's not that many accidents that just happen.
No, and that's why people have these questions. They might as well have Kathy Griffin and what's her name, Rosie O'Donnell protecting the president at this point with as much hatred that they have for him. And that's where the questions are going to lie. I mean, this was a complete disaster, an utter failure. And it took how long for the person who was in charge to step down? And the only reason they stepped down was because it took the right side of the news to sit here and say, hold on, why is this person in charge? This is a former president who almost got assassinated live on TV. And you're sitting here and pretending like it's not your problem. No, you're in charge. Why is this happening? And there have not been any answers. We went with sloped roof first, then came back on that. I mean,
ridiculous.
This is an absolute, you know what it is? It's a real life South Park episode. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah. As well as the boxing, too.
Yeah, the boxing, too. Yeah, I just saw those videos, too. That's funny.
Or it's a setup.
Yeah.
Of course it's a setup.
Which one do you want to feel like?
It's hard to know. It's hard to know which one it is. Because it's almost willful negligence. It's you knew
or purposeful negligence.
Right. Well, that willful, that's purposeful. Yeah. You're allowing it to happen. We're saying the same thing. Yep. They're like, okay, let's send the JV team in. Let's make sure they don't have enough people. And look, acting director Rowe was a part of that whole process by denying Trump more protection, even though they had asked for it repeatedly, over and over and over again. So what makes me believe that he's going to be truthful here when he knows he's part of the problem?
One of the questions that does not get answered ever since the news broke. All right, they said there was explosives in his van. And that was supposed to be something we're like, whoa, there's explosives. But they didn't tell you where it was parked. And then the report was, well, it was parked down the street at a Home Depot. So that guy walked in a mile with a ladder and a rifle.
Yeah.
And nobody thought to themselves, like, In fact, maybe somebody actually thought to themselves, well, he's here.
Yeah. They're only good at weaponizing.
Wow. Can you think about that? Just the levity of that statement. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, they're only good at weaponizing their government, agencies against someone. But they're not actually good at running their government agencies, and that's the biggest problem. We have an old, feeble, old man running our country, and this is exact duplicate of what we're seeing. I mean, everything, he's in charge of it all. And, this is a man who said that RFK Jr. couldn't have the protection that he needed for as long as RFK Jr. was left out there by himself. This is a man who is in charge of the same group that decided that they were going to put the most inept U.S. Secret Service team on him and then find the best ones they could for Jill, who was speaking at a very friendly conference. This is exactly what this administration is. They're so far behind. They're so old. They can't keep up. They can't protect Americans. They can't protect former presidents with the best protection they're supposed to have in the world. This is exactly what this Democrat Party and the Kamala Harris presidency should and will look like for the rest of the time that they're in this.
Nothing
they're horrible.
is going to change.
They can't do anything right.
The expenses you're facing right now will be the same or more. The craziness that you're seeing around the country and around the world will be encouraged even more. It's a very simple, what do you want? Do you want the adult back in the room?
Yeah.
Or do you want the ones that say they're the adults and let the world burn?
All they do is apologize for their failures. Oh, you know what? Sorry, we didn't have a good plan in Afghanistan. Sorry, we messed up, 13 people got killed. Oh, sorry, we didn't have a good plan with the Secret Service. Oh, former president almost got killed. Don't worry, we're going to work on it. We're going to have them step down now. No, the problem is you have no foresight or leadership, and you don't know how to run this country.
Should have been worked on to begin with. That way you don't have the incident.
Your answer should not be, whoops.
Yeah, but it always is. It's always whoops. And we know from the military, at least at the top of the military, that there was no plan for Afghanistan, to Rhino's point. There was no plan. They just said, we're going to pull out today, and we're doing it. The stupid pier off of Gaza, we're going to do it. No plan whatsoever. Complete failure. Hundreds of millions of dollars spent and wasted. If you want to continue to let the country and the world burn, elect Kamala Harris. That's how you get it done. When we come back, a second civil war will not be fought with weapons of war, but with wallets. Next on Xtra 106.3.
Xtra 106.3 is committed to bringing you the local and national perspective you need and hearing your voice leading up to the election.
There are things that really worry me now about the upcoming election. It is inconceivable that the people of this country would ever vote for Kamala Harris for president. She is without accomplishment.
Proud to be Atlanta's conservative news and talk station. Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
There are crazies on the road. Who knows where they're all going, but if one of them hits you, don't take care of it on your own. Call my friend David Van Sant. He is the lawyer that used to work for the insurance company. The team at Van Sant Law knows who to call, what to say, and will make sure you get what you deserve and what the insurance company doesn't want to pay for. They have your best interest at heart and will take care of everything. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid. My advice, save Van Sant Law in your phone. Today, 855-GA-INJURY, vansantlaw.com.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
Hey there, it's Tara, owner and publisher of Our Town Monthly. Summer is over, and we are in back-to-school mode. So are our friends at Steve Raymond Chevrolet. My friend Ali has an exciting announcement.
Hey, thanks, Tara. I'm Ali Khan, General Manager of Steve Raymond Chevrolet. Join us Saturday, August 9th and 10th for a back-to-school giveaway. We will have free lunch, and we will be donating backpacks stuffed with school supplies free for the first 100 families in attendance. Be sure to scan the QR code in Our Town Monthly to reserve your backpack. Walk-ins are always welcome. We cannot wait to see you there. At Steve Raymond, community is everything to us.
Wow, Ali, a number 2 pencil and a Chevy can take you anywhere. Stop in to Steve Raymond on Cobb Parkway, August 9th and 10th. Grab lunch, a backpack, and say hello from us. And remember, our town is your town at Our Town Monthly.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word HEDGE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text HEDGE to 989898. That's HEDGE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply. Start your day with live and local conservative talk with Tug, Rhino, and Carlos Medina on the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3.
Man, there is a new trend on social media. And it is one that I think you're going to see blow up for the remainder of the day. And it is I Stand with Angela Carini. That is going to be something that you will see over and over and over and over again. And rightfully so, because of the fact that this woman had her Olympic medal dreams dashed by having to fight a biological man. That is the end-all, be-all, and I see it everywhere already on Twitter. You can find us at Extra1063, at Tug Coward, at Rhino Extra1063, at Front Office Los, and for Board Op Joe, at Joe Tom Virgin 2. I find it interesting.
You want to know where the support is?
Sure.
It's coming out of Algeria. It's coming out of Middle East accounts. They don't see any issue with this look. They're all like, hey, she's a woman. She's a proud. They are legitimately like celebrating the fact that.
Yeah. But those are fake accounts. Those are not real accounts. They can't be real accounts.
Listen, there's always going to be. You can find the hashtag I Stand with Emain Khalif.
Okay.
But if you were to come to my home, I'd throw him off a roof.
Good Lord.
It's got to be fake accounts, right?
It can't be. It's got to be. That's because nobody with a level head thinks like this.
Let's sum up the most divisive Olympics in probably modern day history.
Yeah.
Let's sum it up this way.
Easily.
Number one, you started off the Olympics with men pretending to be women. Fine, whatever.
But
then
insulting
you
Christianity.
gaslight religion and Christians around the world with a divisive opening ceremonies. Next, you have a Palestinian athlete literally calling for the death of a Jew that he is fighting.
He wouldn't shake a hand. He yelled Allah Akbar in his face.
Disgusting divisiveness. Then on top of that, you have Nazis in the audience doing Heil Hitler to the Jewish athletes in the audience. This is your Olympic experience so far. And today we culminate Not obviously, we got way more issues to go. There's plenty more. But then we have a man beating up a woman on Olympic TV.
With the approval of the IOC.
With the approval of Thomas Bach, who is the IOC president and the IOC. This is the worst Olympic Games and most divisive Olympic Games I've ever watched in this, or well, I haven't watched, but I've seen through media.
And on top of that, let's throw in one more for all the environmentalists.
Oh, yeah, throw one in. Sorry.
The Sand River is so filthy and so disgustingly dirty with feces. And sewer.
Yeah.
You can't do the Olympic event in it. You can't do the swimming in it because they're afraid the Olympians will die.
That's what they should show as the picture of the Olympics is just something full of S.
Yeah, just
because that's
sewer.
exactly what this entire
complete sewer
games are.
A complete sewer.
Ugh.
And it's crazy because my family loves cheering on Team USA. I mean, absolutely loves it. And they're physically having to ignore the craziness surrounding the games just to be able to cheer on the athletes that they know their work ethic and what they've been able to do and accomplish just to be able to get there.
The Algerians are very proud of this.
Oh, well, good for them.
Are they?
Good.
I'm just going through it. I'm like, oh, look, another Algerian flag.
That's funny. I'd be embarrassed if I was from Algeria. I'd be embarrassed to sit here and go and be proud that a man beat up a woman. That's your strongest man.
Well, that's inclusivity is what it is.
He couldn't beat up your Algerian men.
Well, but you need to be inclusive, Rhino.
I'm not going to be inclusive.
That's what this is, right?
Yeah, sorry about going
against. That's what they're telling you that this is what inclusivity looks like.
Again, I can be tolerant, but I never have to accept. And I will never accept a man being in a ring with a woman beating her up. I will never accept a man being in a woman's locker room saying that he's a better swimmer than they are and being rewarded for cheating, because that's what this is. Regardless of what you think of this man failed because he had too much testosterone. End of story, gone. You're not in the sport. You weren't born a woman, you're not a woman, and you will not participate in a women's athletic event. That's the message that needs to be sent. We need to be strong and not play games and not be afraid of a tyrannical minority that makes up less than 1% of the world's population.
How much press is this going to get? We already saw it be buried as long as it could be buried. How much press does this get throughout the day? I will be interested to see how the liberal media networks cover this or do not cover it. Like CBS, NBC, ABC. How do they cover this? Or do they just completely ignore it and act like it didn't happen? They report who won, and then they move on. It's a hit and run because they know if they spend time with it, it is going to expose what they've supported.
They've supported all this divisiveness. They've supported the lie of the Democrats. The reality of this is one thing. You want to attach Kamala Harris to all the policies of Joe Biden, then I can attach the fact that women and Democrats enjoy watching men beat up women. They enjoy watching racism and divisiveness. They love it. They eat it up. The Democrat Party are a bunch of people who are cheering on men beating up women and abusing women.
It's unreal, man. Unreal.
By the way, CNN.com, MSNBC.com, neither of them have it. Fox does have it in the, I would say, just below the fold. Female boxer in tears as she quits match against biological male.
CNN's trying to figure out how do we make the woman from Italy the bad guy.
That's exactly right.
Oh, you know what? This doesn't show that she was serious. She quit.
She didn't want to take her beating.
She wasn't strong enough to show that women can beat up men. How are they going to spin this? Or do they just ignore it like they do everything else?
They just ignore it. They're going to tell you who won, and they're going to move along. They're not going to spend.
Again, this isn't going away. You got another fight tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's about to hit.
And this person's going to fight again on Saturday. This isn't going anywhere. This is going to be the whole back end of the Olympics.
But they're going to pretend it's not happening.
I'm hoping that all women come to the side of that ring tomorrow when another woman has to fight a man and stand in her corner, and she stands and puts her hands up and walks out, and every single one of them gets in that ring and says, "We will not fight men." That's what I love to see.
Actual protest, because that's what Angela did to start it, right? She protested. She said it's not fair, and she just threw in the towel and said, "I'm not going to do this. It's not fair." Which is the smartest thing she could have done, because that's what gets the attention ball rolling.
This is, like I said, it's not going anywhere, but this exists as just such a blight because these two individuals were already banned from taking part in fighting women. The International Boxing Association did their tests and were like, these are genetic males. You can't fight against these women. And the IOC decided, well,
it's fine.
It's fine.
Just let it go.
It's egg on your face.
Yeah. Because if either they're just completely cowards and not willing to say, hey, this is not fair, or they support it. It's one of the two.
They're cowards. They're cowards.
Or they support. I bet the other half supports it.
Cool. Any Democrat listening right now, call in and say and denounce it. Denounce trans men or men fighting women and being in women's sports. Go ahead. You're not strong enough. You're weak, and you're going to fall for the divisiveness of your party, the gender identity politics that they want to play. The fact of the matter is this: not one of you want your mother, sister, daughter, or any female family member being attacked by men, and yet you are voting for the one party that accepts that men can beat up women and encourages men to beat up women.
Well, I was told the silliness of, you have to follow the science, yet we're fundamentally trying to not acknowledge that there is a genetic difference between men and women. All right? There just is. That's just how it goes. And so while women are the stronger sex in terms of childbirth and everything that goes along those lines, they're what we need to perpetuate the species, the males have always been the stronger, tougher version when it comes to physical activity in order to help perpetuate the species. It's just,
I can't help raccoons can't fly, and I can't help that birds can.
And yet
there's no changing the biology.
And yet these people want to tell you that these things do not matter, that science is out the window in this regard.
Yeah, don't follow
and now it's on display in Paris.
Hashtag don't follow the science. I can see it blowing up now. Yeah. Morning Extra and Extra 106.3. Another thing you're going to see happen is more people leaving these high tax states. We've talked about it plenty of times, and I believe this is one of those things that is going to be happening for as long as I can remember, or as long as into the foreseeable future, because more people are packing up and heading south. And Los has brought up the Civil War so many times, and foolish people will call in and say, oh, you're talking about Civil War. You're talking about Civil War. You're talking about fighting and people, shooting at each other. No, the Civil War is not the second Civil War won't be fought with guns. It'll be fought with your wallet. And that's what's happening. California has lost 1.2 million people since 2022. End of 2022 into 2023. New York has lost 990,000 people. It comes down to cost of living, taxes, and values. Problem is that I fear if I were running Tugland, I would make people check in at the door when you get to the state line across the interstate.
Tugland, let me see your politics.
Let me see your voter registration ID. Let me see your voter registration card, because people are going to, even though they support everything that's happening in New York and California, are going to be so fed up with what they're endorsing that they're going to come here too, and they're going to ruin it for all of us. These numbers are astounding. California has lost 1.2 million people. And you wonder why the border is wide open? You got to replace those people somehow. They don't want a House of Representative seats to be lost in California or New York.
Oh, but let's pretzel it up now, because you know what? Not only did they lose those people and they brought in illegals, now the illegals that are living there on the street, the homeless that are living on the street, they're throwing them out too, because it was another failed policy and idea.
Quietly.
Because they wasted $24 billion on trying to fix the homeless crisis and made it worse. Because the more that people saw, oh, this is great. They're giving us free things to do our drugs with. Oh, they're making sure that they're giving us cards and taking care of us and giving us food and giving us these things and moving us into their community centers for free. For free. It's not for free. And that entire state is in a deficit for a while. Kamala Harris is California. Don't forget that. Kamala Harris is San Francisco. Don't forget that. Do not allow these people to move into Tugland. Do not allow these people to come in your neighborhood and change it. And the only way you can do that, by the way, is to vote against it and to continue to get to the polls. So for every single person that moves in, we need 3 people going to the polls to eliminate their votes.
So I think that's really important to point out that California, for the first time in the history of its statehood, lost population. That doesn't happen. It's never happened.
Right.
And so you have to look at the last 4 years of management from Gavin Newsom to every other one of their politicians. You fostered an environment where something that has never happened in the history of your state happened. People left. And so if you just want to talk about what has then gone on from there, I think Jesse Kelly summed this up really well in a tweet yesterday. He hadn't been on the air, but he's been tweeting. He said, Democrats have moved on from black people. Illegals are more manageable and less demanding. That's why they're stuffing all the illegals in black neighborhoods, and they're not stressing about the black outrage over it. They're saying, we'll keep bringing in the rest of the third world to replace those that we're losing in these states where we're losing legitimate population.
And understand how this works, okay? Because they realize that the people who are born here, Americans, black Americans, Asian Americans that live in those areas in California, they don't want to settle for a 500 square foot apartment that the government funded.
Want a better
what are
life.
they doing? Yeah, they want a better life. They want to have an ability to have an American dream. So Gavin Newsom's idea and the Democrats' idea right now, and this is Kamala Harris too, okay? This has to be talked about nationally because Biden put in, he wants to build the same exact kind of affordable housing. In Atlanta right now, they're trying to build the same affordable housing with your taxpayer money. Here's what they want. They know illegals will be settled and say, so you're going to build this affordable housing. You're going to take care of most of the rent. All I have to pay is $500, and I got a gym, and I got a place to eat, and you're giving me money for food and everything else. Deal. And they'll stay there. But you know what? Instead of focusing on the fact that, hey, maybe we should start thinking about keeping businesses here, keeping, the wealthy here, the people who actually create jobs, they are focusing on creating government control and the ability for these people who they brought across illegally to live off of them.
It ain't going to change unless you vote. It's just the way it is. It's not going to change. These people are going to do whatever it takes to remain in power. And 50% of our country, maybe let's say 45% of the country is going to vote for it. You've got to make sure that this is too big to rig. You've got to make sure you are voting because it matters more than ever. It matters. 9 o'clock hours brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution. Windows, doors, gutters, painting, siding, roofs. They do it all. Look you in the eye, shake your hand, and do exactly what they say they'll do. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. Who did it worst? Who did the worst impression, Hillary or Kamala? We'll put it to the test next.
The left-wing media is pushing counterfeit polls and bogus headlines, all while ignoring the stories that matter most. Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the real truth without the media spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, and the voices you need most are all on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on Extra 106.3.
All right, Carlos is in here talking about food and ribs and all the wonderful things he made. And, one of the great things is he wasn't prepared to bring us any food, unfortunately. Well, but you can be prepared with True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway. In fact, more than ever, it is time to start really thinking about your future and protecting your family in any way you possibly can. It is scary to think about where this country could go if Kamala Harris were to be actually inducted as the president of the United States. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared to not have food? Are you prepared to not be able to get water? Are you prepared for any kind of emergency? Well, I hope so. If not, True Prep, Marietta, Cobb Parkway. Tell them Rhino sent you down there. Ask for all the professionals down there. Tell them, hey, I need some help. Rhino told me to come here. Here's where I want to start. Now, they may do the right thing and just say, hey, go to one of our amazing workshops. In fact, this Saturday, they've got their intro to emergency preparedness. They also have their bug out and get home bag class. Those are 2 classes you can find on their website, trueprep.com. But they also just walk around, see what they have. They have everything you need for freeze-dried food, whether you want to buy it prepackaged or do it yourself. They've got your first aid kits, the water filtration, and the AR-15s, firearms, firearm accessories, and ammo, all at the lowest prices around. In fact, next weekend, August 10th, they've got the AR-15 Builder Armor Class by Precision Applications. It's an amazing class. Go check out their website at trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow. Tell them Rhino sent you to True Prep.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
Get
Get ready for unfiltered conversations on The Janelle King Show, where we tackle the topics that you won't hear at your family gatherings, but they're absolutely crucial for a strong republic. Don't miss us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on Extra 106.3. But if you can't tune in, that's okay. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Join us for these discussions, and I can't wait to meet you there.
Tax season can be stressful, but it's also a wake-up call. It's time to think beyond April and plan for your future. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we're not just advisors, we're your partners in building a secure retirement. At Master Plan Retirement Consultants, we understand the challenges Georgians face. That's why we offer personalized strategies to maximize your retirement income, minimize taxes, and ensure you never outlive your assets. Join the Master Plan family and let us guide you through every financial milestone. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your appointment today. Master Plan Retirement Consultants, where your journey and destination are both important. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Hi, it's Glenn Beck, and I saw a statistic recently that jumped out at me. In 2017, home equity grew by a staggering $908 billion in America. That represents a 12% increase year over year. For most Americans, home equity is the biggest chunk of their personal wealth. At realestateagentsitrust.com, we see adult children who seek our help and sell their parents' homes. Often, the home is in a distant city and the condition of the home can be poor. And of course, our agents at realestateagentsitrust.com go above and beyond to help those families sell these homes, and that's a great feeling for everybody involved, including us. But it makes me wonder if there might be a better way. Have you considered looking at the equity you have in your home? It might be smart to sell now and downsize and have that equity to enjoy your golden years. If so, I urge you to go to realestateagentsitrust.com and let one of our agents see what might be possible by leveraging the equity in your home. realestateagentsitrust.com. That's realestateagentsitrust.com.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines. Presented by RBM of Atlanta, your Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
All right, here are your top stories in the state of Georgia for today, Thursday, August 1st. Authorities have issued a Levi's call for 2-month-old Rhea Clark after she was kidnapped from a Sandy Springs hotel early yesterday morning. Police are looking for baby Rhea's non-custodial father, saying he is armed and dangerous, Randy Bernard Clark, who is also accused of shooting a relative back in September of 2023. The details surrounding the abduction have not been released, and investigators say baby Rhea is in extreme danger. A second ex parte or secret meeting between Fulton County Superior Court Judge Ural Glanville and state prosecutors has defense lawyers in the YSL RICO gang trial calling for an immediate dismissal of the indictments against their clients. According to attorney Doug Weinstein, Judge Glanville met with prosecutors Adrian Love and Simone Hilton and gossiped like Yentas over 13 pages of transcripts about defense attorneys Max Shart, John Melnick, and Brian Steele during a June 7th secret meeting before the June 10th secret meeting that actually spurred the recusal of Judge Glanville. And in sports, the Braves have won 4 of their last 5 games after Matt Olson and Travis d'Arnaud hit back-to-back homers twice in the game. The Braves went on to a 6-2 win over the Milwaukee Brewers, giving them the series win. The Braves are back at Truist Park tonight to take on the Miami Marlins, who are currently on a 4-game losing streak. Charlie Morton will throw out the first pitch tonight at 7:20. You can catch all the action on our sister station. 680 The Fan. Lost my hair there.
There you go. It happens once in a while.
By the way, Yenta, just in case anybody wants to know, and I only did that because Doug Weinstein is the one who actually commented on that. A Yenta is somebody who speaks so much. They tell everybody else's businesses. They're gossipers. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, my mom, she's a Yenta. My mom will tell you everything about, anything I don't want you to know about me.
Is she telling you?
She'll tell.
Yeah, the normal that you'll hear if we're outside of the Jewish circle, it's a sewing circle.
Yeah.
It's a sewing circle.
But within the Jewish community, it's, that's a Yenta.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I'm trying to think what redneck folks call it. What do hillbillies call it? Loudmouth, know-it-all. I don't know.
Yeah.
God, there's a better name though. What was it when we were growing up? I'll think of it.
What
at
are the
some
town
point.
gossip names? Like everybody has a name for it.
Yes, it'll come to me at some point.
Yenta's one of my favorites, though. From
the old,
it tells you everything. It's like, oh, that person doesn't keep anything to themselves.
Right.
That's basically the connotation. It's like, oh, such a yenta. Like, okay.
Sometimes it's a good yenta. You know, like sometimes mom will be like, my son's on radio in Atlanta. You know,
well, if you want to know, like for instance, what's going on within your community, like you could say, like, oh, you know, I heard from so and so. So and so just graduated from college. You know, she's such a yenta. Like she's telling you everything about everything.
It's never been used in my like anybody I've been around. I've never. Only reason I know is because you told me. A while
my
back.
mom, like, if you were like my mother's other son, she'd be like, "I love that Tug Cower. He's such a nice boy, but he does do a lot of that cocaine."
Well, come on. You can't say Mama's telling stories like that. That won't make me listen to her.
Those are the rumors.
That's right. That's what they say. That's the hearsay.
Yeah.
But you know. We're talking about growing up differently as we all did. I want to know what you think. Who's got the most fake Southern accent? And could it be Hillary Clinton or could it be Kamala Harris? I'll let you decide.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
2024.
Listen, I'm gonna have to say Hillary's way worse. I mean, that was the most disgusting. And I mean, if Donald Trump were to go up on stage and do that,
dude,
how would he be labeled?
Well, she's doing lyrics to a song, but it's one of those that you go, yeah, leave that aside.
How do you relate to that though?
Insulting. I mean, if we're talking about,
tell me how Hillary went through all the tough things to get to where she was, marrying Bill Clinton. You know, getting. I mean, come on.
Kamala, though. I mean,
and don't get me wrong, Hillary Clinton's got plenty of good accolades that she has accomplished. But to sit there and pretend like you had to fight so hard with your white privilege to get to where you are today and to pander in that manner, it's just disgusting, man.
It's so off-putting. All of it's off-putting. And as a dude with a Southern accent, as soon as I hear somebody with their fake Southern accent, I'm like,
exactly.
I got nothing for you. Brian Kelly down at LSU, I brought that up the other day. And the first time I saw him do, and his was more like a Cajun accent. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, that was strange.
But I was just like,
at the basketball game, right? He just been announced as coach.
Yeah,
something he wanted to let everybody know that he was down.
He sounded like the Raging Cajun off of what was it? The Adam Sandler movie, the one that nobody could understand. Was it Waterboy that had the dude?
Yes, Waterboy. How funny it'd be if Brian Kemp went to Davos and was like, "Hello, it's good to be here.
Exactly.
I would like to get your money because you know we like the meatballs from IKEA
and bring it to jobs." Yeah, I'm
thinking about both of you guys trying to fake that sort of accent and showing up at Davos and being like, just trying to fake it to the point where it's like, I'm here for the money.
Yeah, I don't know how you. I don't know how anybody.
Obviously, we're Swedish. We have 2 IKEAs.
I just don't know how anybody listens to someone do something like that. I'm like, yep, that's who I support.
Yeah,
that's definitely my team.
Yeah,
this is definitely who I'm voting for.
Right.
What goes through your mind when you hear it? Because as soon as I hear it, I'm just like shut down. I was like, I ain't got time for this. I'm gone. I'm done.
Right.
But you know, 45-50% of the country are like, yep, that's who I'm voting for. I can't wait.
Yeah. If Marjorie Taylor Greene were to go to a new AOC's area in the Bronx and pretend that she was Hispanic of any kind or talk in that manner, what would be the outrage? I mean, that's exactly what the left is doing.
Okay,
they are divisive.
Take it a step further. White dudes for Kamala or white chicks for Kamala.
But it's never the same.
Script.
It's never the same. I mean, we actually had a moment where Jill Biden wanted to tell you about how y'all do some wonderful tacos.
Yeah, that's right. The breakfast tacos. That's
okay.
Right. Yes,
and nobody went, why'd you bring that up? Considering all the other things that we actually do, you're here to talk about the tacos.
Breakfast tacos.
Yeah. I heard you guys make great burritos in the morning.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
All of it.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
But that's where liberalism is. That's what it is, dude.
That's pandering.
You see people and you have to put them in particular boxes. And that's
the way you see
it's
them.
then very difficult to talk about anything without having to go through that filter of, well, this is how I see these people, so this is how I talk to them and how I respond to them.
Yeah. I'd love Brian Kemp to go talk to the whole LGB community and then just put on that accent.
Yeah.
I thought about this and I was thinking, this was last night. Part of the reason why I've so enjoyed my daughter playing club volleyball where she is because she has such a diverse group of teammates.
Sure.
And to her, it's all just girls in volleyball.
Which is the way it should be.
And that's the way it should be. And I think about when you're not exposed at that level to different people and different ideas and different cultures and different backgrounds, I think you're much more easy to accept the program and that people tell you well, these people only think this way and these people only care about this and these people to think that when you're trying to appeal to the African American voter in Atlanta and your idea was, let's get a woman up to twerk in front of them. That's what the Democrats think of you.
Yeah, this is how we're going to get your vote.
We're not talking about opportunity zones or businesses or growing your wealth or helping you towards retirement. We said, get up there, Megan, and twerk.
Yeah, Tim Scott and Donald Trump worked on the opportunity zones. That gets ignored, but hey, don't worry, vote for us. We're twerking.
What they think of you.
That's disgusting.
All you need to know is which person is going to give opportunity to Americans. That's what we're looking for. That's who I want to vote for.
Vote for twerking.
Yes, or that. Or that's the alternative.
By the way,
men beating up women in a ring.
I ain't a hater of twerking. I just don't need it at my political rally.
You got to relate somehow, I suppose, because Kamala can't relate any other way. Morning Extra at Extra 106.3, 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your exterior solution in Metro Atlanta for 2 decades. 8779 southernexteriors.co for Rhino, Los, and Bordock, Goey, Virgin River, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now here.
The Kimmer Show is only live on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
All these people on the Democrat side who are praising our current president as the savior of the country, and his record is he's the greatest, he's a criminal, he's a slime bag, he's a traitor to his country, he's a disgrace and an empty shirt.
The Kimmer